All right, all right, all right. You know what time it is and what day it
Party
is.
time.
Monday night, live in the counselor's corner for another open court discussion. I'm your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the controversial counselor. Joining me is my all-star panel, Herb Lewis, the big bad wolf.
Ow!
Oh, that wolf is on one tonight. Willie A. Price speaks absolutely nothing but the truth.
And I'm here, and I got me a mic too, so I'm ready to go too, Jack. Let's
All
go.
right. None of our ladies here, but I'm still gonna call them out.
Oh, they'll be sliding up in here.
Christine comes correct all the time. Brooks, the lovable Lakia Perry, Annetta Life Coach Williams, and the youngest in charge, Shaughnessy Andrews. Well, last week the show was low key and mild mannered, and we discussed the topic: Are her standards too high? So what? I don't have a passport. Um, but tonight, Monday night, June 6th, we're gonna lead off with the topic: Can a woman uh, still be high value after a breakup? Yeah, they can be if they know their value, if they become self-sufficient, don't feel entitled, like like the world owes them something, demand respect and maintain an air of mystery, then they still may be high value. But if they lose some of those core essentials, then no, they're not. Their status will drop. So now let's look at the remaining talking points. Number two, the impact of social class on relationships. Number three, just because two people dated the same person does not mean they are the same person. And number four, I am 40 and over and inexperienced in dating. It's been a while. So you have a lot of people that's in their 40s, 50s, and they might have been in long term relationships or in a marriage, and that didn't work out. So now they want to jump back out into the dating world, and they don't know what the hell to do or what's going on because they might have been with their ex since they were younger when dating wasn't really that sophisticated when you're young. You just whatever you can afford to do, you do, and you just enjoy each other. But now, it's a lot of complexities with all that shit, and people like, well, I don't go here, don't take me here. I don't go to these type of restaurants. I don't go to chain restaurants. They got a bunch of different stuff, but we're gonna tackle that. So there you have it, another four great conversation starters that I'm sure will bring a lot of personal testimonies. Make sure you're here, listen, and please like and share our video. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. So here we have it. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? What's
I
good,
can't
bad,
call it.
indifferent?
Just glad to
I am
be
doing
here.
well as always. As always, working on a pamphlet. Um, I've surpassed the 100 question mark. So I'm looking probably to move about 500 copies, somewhere between $11 and $15 a piece. We'll see how that goes. That's my goal for the pamphlet. The 100 questions.
For the dates?
Yes.
So you putting that out there and you charging?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, all
Might as well make something for my intellectual efforts. Just a little
So
something.
when is this gonna be out?
I don't have a definitive date yet. I got to start writing a little bit few things for it. I'm in the process of doing that. Like I said, the questions I'm always adding to it. So this will be the initial copy, and I'm sure there's going to be some revisions coming forward because, as with all things, you know, especially socially, when we're talking about things of this nature, questions always come up that you can always add to it, and depending on
Yeah.
who's asking the questions, you can always structure it how you want to. And that's the beauty that I'm looking at with this. Is some of the questions may not be for everybody. Some of the questions might be, and somebody may want to add their own twist on it. But we all need a canvas from which to start from, and I think that's what a lot of people lack is a canvas from which to start from. So that's more or less for me what I'm actually gearing to do.
Okay. Nice.
Cool. How
Well,
about you, Willie? What's going on?
I'm excited. My track club I started I have a Niagara Falls, excuse me, I have Niagara Falls Track and Field Club that normally starts in July, but we have the Junior Olympics coming this year to Rochester, which is about 60 miles away, which is going to be the closest it's going to get to this area for a while. So I actually started a Niagara Track and Field Elite Club, which is going to be for kids, I think 11 and up, 11 to 18, that can compete in the Junior Olympics, and if they take top 3 in that, they get to go to the Empire State Games. So I'm excited about that. I've been putting it out there because this would be a great opportunity for kids. It won't be back this way for 5 years. So having that opportunity to brag to your friends that you ran in the Junior Olympics, which is one great thing, and then to even qualify to go to the Empire State Games and compete against kids from all over the state, that's another great thing. So I'm excited about it. Looking forward to the kids that are going to show up. We start practice tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing who shows up and how we do.
Okay. Well, I had the luxury of, I think it was Thursday, we took, so we have a program like Black Boy Joy program at our school where we work with some of the at-risk black male 7th graders, and we had the luxury of going to, like, I think it's called Martin Airport. It's a small airport in Middle River, Maryland, and the kids had opportunity to like build like a duplicate a plane, whatever. It was made out of like cardboard, the plane, but they had, took them step by step. So it just made me think like, well, some of these kids, they haven't did shit all year academic wise. Ain't did nothing. And there's one kid, of course, I won't name his name. I was so impressed by him. And I'm just looking at him. Then I said, yo, man, like you're a potential foreman, because they had job titles they had, and he didn't choose the foreman, but he ended up like taking over and making sure everything was all right, kind of leading them. But in school, he's a little jerk, say anything. Like, for example, he told one teacher that I guess her husband had died few years ago, and he made some comment, that's why your husband died, and you probably got pregnant by a horse or something to that nature. So this is the type of stuff that he does. He breaks his computers, get mad and upset, but he was so calm and collecting. I said, this is why we need these trade programs in every middle school and every high school, because I know if he can get into the right program and get the right toolage, that he's going to go in and make some serious money. It was just
something that has his interest.
Yeah. Even the principal pulled him to the side and was like, wow, like I've been watching you. You're doing a great job. So when he walked in homeroom today, I'm like, big money making, his name, whatever. He just smiled, whatever, because now I'm going to really push him next year.
Right. Because you see that potential in him.
Because he's going to be in the 8th grade, then he's going to have to get ready to go to high school to apply for magnet school. So I'm gonna try to push him next year. But that's it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough with these kids, man. I know exactly what you're saying. That that's why I love doing my boys program starting at the 5th grade, because, like you said, kids, and that goes to my right brain learning. What I was telling you, we do right brain learning. You have some kids that they do horrible in the classroom, but they work well with their hands. If it's something they enjoy doing and it's something they see that they have an interest in, they'll pick it right up and do it. But if you were to give them that same information where y'all took them in a book or on a diddle sheet or something, he would have had no interest in it. But to actually see it and see how it was done, he was ready to go to work on it. And that's what we find, especially with boys, is that they have that right brain learning skill where they can see something, and if it's something that interests them, they'll take it over and just show how, just do it without even thinking about it. He probably wasn't even thinking about what he's doing. He just knew how to get it done.
Yeah, because even some of the jobs, they all wasn't directly involved, but he just found himself to like, let me, even times I said, going over there, that, they need you. And he jumped right in and do whatever and put everything together. He was like the glue, put all the pieces together. And I'm like, oh, that's my little guy now, whatever. I'm on, but you would never know that you would never know that unless you see them outside their element
Exactly.
doing something. And like Jackie
Exactly.
said, what's going on, Jackie? Fellow Niagara University Purple Eagle. She said, also, our
Uh-oh.
kids needed opportunities. Most times they see negatively and never get these opportunities, and that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I always say that it's a plan. They meant to do this to take these programs out because they know that black boys would excel in
That's
these
right.
programs. So they wanted to push the narrative about college, and they knew that
That's
not
not where
all,
we go.
but yeah. So we built this damn country. We built this world.
Yeah.
So why the hell would you want them to have this information? So you take it away and make them take a test to get in these programs, dealing
Mm-hmm.
with math and
All the stuff that they know that
English.
they lacking in.
So it's
And
it's
that's
interesting.
that, like you're right. In the city of Buffalo, I remember when I bought my real estate, I was a kid that hated school. But when I bought my real estate, I ended up going to Seneca Vocational to take electrical. I ended up going to McKinley High School to take carpentry, to learn how to work on my property so I wouldn't have to pay people all the time to do the work. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow. I said, these kids had these schools right in the city available to them. Burgard High School, aviation and auto repair and auto, all this stuff with auto mechanic and stuff. All that stuff they just eliminated because, like you said, it allows these young men who may not want to go to college to have an opportunity to create a career for themselves and to provide for a family. Now, all of a sudden, there is no vocationals in the schools, and like you said, if they do have them in the area, they have to take some crazy exam that eliminates them. So the frustration leads them right back to the streets.
Yeah. So if you think about it, imagine if these programs were around and you had
Mm-hmm.
some young kids 18, 19, and they could come out make it 50, 60, 70,000. Imagine what that would do to the communities,
Thank you.
the neighborhoods, and all this stuff. You would have probably less drug dealers, less high
Mm-hmm.
crime, poverty, and all this stuff. But they don't want it to go down like that.
And
So
that's why, and that's exactly why it's gone, because they don't want them to be successful like that. You think about it, you had all the families, you had remember we had all the plants, your grandfather and father. That's why people came north to work in the plants. Come to Detroit, work in the plants. Came to Buffalo, working in Bethlehem Steel. That's where my stepfather worked out at Tonawanda Coke and all these companies. Even my mother worked there for a while. So you had all these plants, you had all these vocations, you had all these trades. So you didn't have to, a college degree wasn't even in the picture for a lot of these people, because a lot of kids, think about it, a lot of kids got right out of right out of high school and went and worked in the plants, and their parents got them summer jobs working in the plants to prepare them.
And parents that worked at plants, they had a good living. They had a good living.
Yeah.
Those were the ones that were well-to-do. You're like, oh, my mother, my father worked at Harrison, General Motors, and stuff like that, Carborundum and things like that. They were homeowners.
And look how they cut those jobs down now. They replaced a lot of those jobs with robots and moving them out the country and all those kind of things. So now those jobs are even gone. I was talking to this gentleman Sunday. I went to the awards banquet for the PAL Students of Excellence Award, scholar award. And I was talking to a gentleman there, and we were talking about the Occidental plant and the plants over there on Buffalo Avenue, how those plants used to have 3,000-4,000 people working in them. And now those plants, like Oxy has, what the guy told me, I think he did like 300 out of, it used to be 3,000. Now it's 300 people working there, and they're tearing down the buildings to reduce tax dollars, the tax levies they have to pay. And that's how we got on that subject. But just thinking about all the jobs that used to be in this area, which were all manufacturing and, those kind of jobs that you didn't have to have a degree. You didn't have to have a college education or anything like that. You came out of high school. And like I said, some kids were working summer jobs, because their parents worked there. So they would get them summer jobs working in the plant, for the summer, making, back then, maybe $7, $8, $9, $10, 10, 20 years ago, which was a lot of money for a high school kid.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now
It's definitely different. Shout out to Officer Charles. Jackie said even back then they pick and chose who they wanted to send to those programs. Yeah, they always had it was always like a pecking order, but it was still more opportunities for people to achieve. So right now, kids, I mean, their goals are so kind of limited, and most of them are saying the same things that they, I want to be a rapper, I want to be an NBA, I want to be in the NFL and stuff like that. But that's a
Fast
whole
money.
subject. That's a whole different subject. That was the introduction. We're gonna get back on topic.
Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that one day. Yeah, let's get on topic. What are we talking about? Who we talking about?
Hey, Lakia, how you doing?
Hey everyone, how's you guys doing? Hi guys.
What's going on?
Hi guys.
Hello.
Good evening.
All right, quickly, anything, I always like to give somebody opportunity, like to loosen it up, but anything you got going on, good, bad, indifferent, you want to share before we get on the subject matter.
I have everything good. It's exciting time for me right now. But just trying to keep up with it all.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna get it going. So the first topic is, can a woman still be high valued after a breakup?
I didn't. I'm not really answering this right now. I didn't understand that question. That made no real sense to me. It's like, how does
school them, Herb? School them, Herb.
How does her value equate to a breakup? She had to have value. Well, she had to value herself, hopefully, before she was in that relationship or while she was in that relationship. So I don't understand. I didn't understand the question. So I was curious as to how that question came about, or what, give me some understanding so I can answer it.
Well, let me ask you this. With all the attributes that a man would look for in a woman, to have her by his side long term, will she possess more of those at 25 or 45?
I can answer that a couple of ways. But the thing is, she may have, as as we get older, we tend to settle on certain things that we want in our lives or certain behaviors. So you may have more attributes, but you become kind of picky as to who you allow to share in those attributes. So a younger person, they're just, carefree a lot of times. They're going to do whatever and go with the flow. An older person, they're not going to be, first thing you're going to hear is that a lot of times you hear them say, well, I'm not in for any drama. I don't want no nonsense, and all these kind of things. They'll lay all these guidelines down and then turn around and do all the same shit they said they didn't want. So,
all right. So let's take a man that's on his principle. He's on his grind. He's doing what he needs to do to be successful. What is he going to choose? The younger or the older one? He wants.
I think it depends on his needs. It depends on his needs,
yeah.
his wants. Where he is in life, what his desires are. All those things matter.
For in that woman, right?
Yeah.
Because some guys may be doing all that and just want a young girl just to hang out and do whatever he's doing with him. But some guy may want an older woman who's doing the same thing he's doing, making money and grinding and building together. It depends. It depends.
Right.
Where you are. So you about the mindset. You lose your value based on a breakup, because if that's the case, then that person really never knew what their value was. They let that person who they're in that relationship determine their value, and that's how they determine their value. So when that person left them or they broke up with that person, then they may have felt their value was gone because that person was gone. But you should never let a person define your value. If you know and know who you are and know what your value. I talk about this with my students. I said, if you
Mhm.
know your value, who you are, and understand who you are, nobody can ever tell you what you can or can't do.
I mean, that sounds good in theory, but we know sometimes people who may sometimes struggle with emotional intelligence, they lose value over certain situations and kind of, go into a rut, or like I said when I first read this up, like as
Mhm.
far as demanding respect or, healthy boundaries. Or do they feel a sense of entitlement or something like that? So sometimes people, things change.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a loss of value. I want to make sure that that's understood. The value that one has is the value that one has. A carpenter is always going to have value. But for a person who already has carpet in their home, what value does that carpenter have to him? Conversely, if a man that's roughly between the ages of 35 and 45 is looking to cultivate a family, start a legacy, which is he going to pick, the older or the younger woman?
More likely a younger woman, because the older woman is not going to have that opportunity to the time to have as many kids as he may want, or the time to raise those children. So he may look for a younger woman, depending on what his age is. Most time it'll be a younger woman anyways, for that, if that's what he's looking for as a family, because normally he'll be the provider and that woman will more than likely stay home and raise the children. So, but then that, like I said, again, that still doesn't determine her value. He's determining her value. He's really determining her. She's not determining her value. So, that's why I said, it depends on the person, and if they understand who they are, if they have self-esteem and self-awareness, nobody can ever take your value away from you. Sometimes they can make you feel diminished or make you feel belittled because of what you may have gone through with them. So you may lose your way for a while, but you'll come back eventually.
Well, yes, that's true. But what we see now on this dating market is everything is deregulated. And when I say deregulated, that means everybody has contact with everybody else. You're going to have a certain segment of society who's going to always choose in the traditional manner, which isn't the problem. The problem now becomes that as women start to age, they've had children, they've established their careers, they don't want to go back and do certain things. So they say, I'm not looking
Right.
for that. And by virtue of not looking for that, they also discard the men who want that. So as they grow older, the dating pool for them narrows.
Smaller, right.
Right. So that's where the perceived value comes in. It's not them. It's everybody who's looking at them and they're saying, you know what? You might be attractive, you might have your own money, but that's not what I'm looking for. And most men who are well-to-do, or I'm even say well-to-do, most men who are financially sufficient and capable of caring for themselves, they don't care about a woman's money. They don't care about her education. All of that comes second. And this is a question that I was listening to a podcast, and I can't remember which one it was. The question was asked: do women want a partner, or do they want to be a wife? Most women want to be a partner nowadays. So for men who aren't cut out to be a partner, they want to be a husband and leader. That also narrows that selection criteria for them. So that's where the question starts to get traction from.
But I also, even when you say that, I think about some of the videos and things I see, and you say they want a partner, but when you ask them what their definition is of a partner, it's more so they're looking for someone that's going to provide and give them things. They'll name all this, give me a nice house, give me a nice car, have a good job, take me on a trip, all these gimme things. And
Right.
that's their definition of a partner. But that's no partnership. You know what I mean? There's no partnership in that. And I noticed that there was a woman she was talking about this and said, I want a partner, somebody I can be with. And then she said, well, what's your definition of a partner? How would you describe him? And she named everything that he could give her. But everything she named, it was nothing that she was going to be a partner in. And it just kind of amazed me that that's the mindset these days. And I think a lot of that is based on social media and these non-reality TV shows that, make you think or make you see that these people in these relationships with all this, get the bag and, get what you can from a guy. And if he can't give it to you, then get it from somebody else and, and get one on the side and all this craziness. And it makes it hard to really be in a relationship these days because people are so leery about, they're always 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out. And you see that a lot. They're with a person and there's no all-in commitment into that relationship because in the back of their mind, they're still looking for somebody who they think has all the parts. This person may have a lot of what they are interested in, but there's some things missing. So they always got that eye out for, something coming along. So you can never have a true commitment with those people because there's always somebody. And then social media, like I said, it used to be a time where you just met people in your community or your area. Now you can go online and meet people and go down to Florida and Nigeria, all over the world. You can meet somebody.
Florida, Nigeria.
All over the place, man. And so it makes it's hard.
Well, we got, hey, Christine, thanks for joining us.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on?
No, not much. How's everybody tonight?
All right.
All right.
So what is our question?
Can a woman still be high valued after a breakup?
Okay.
I see the wheels turning.
Because it's a weird question.
See, I told you.
Yeah, it's a weird question. It just the same as Herb described. Well, men who are looking to have a family or whatever might be looking at that woman. She's aging, or she might already have kids, or she's got degrees, a career, and so her value goes down because men like him aren't looking at her anymore. But I mean, if you're applying that as if that's the criteria that you're applying, you're negating the fact that she's looking at the men the same way. Okay, I don't want a man like that. I'm not wanting more children, or maybe she is. I don't want a man in this category. So his dating pool, is changing too. She's not looking at him. I was 5 years older than my younger 3 kids' father. I had 3 kids, he had none, and I was looking for a man with no kids because I wanted kids. He didn't look past me, or it's just there's somebody out there that wants what you want. It's matching up with that person. Nobody is going to fit somebody else's idea all the time. You're not going to fit everybody's idea. You're only looking for one person. You're not looking for a bunch of people. So the idea that your value goes down is it's just weird. It's weird. The idea that someone's not looking at you, you're losing value.
What I found is that a lot of people get back together after they break up, like years later, even after divorce. They've gotten back together years later because they've learned some things after they came out of the relationship or the marriage that, okay, I could have did better here, or I could have did better there. So I don't see it as a devaluing or I think it's a growth. It's not about anyone losing their value. I think it's about growing. And it's about learning, and that's for everyone. That's not just for women, that's for men as well. And to, like to read comments that say things about, men determining a woman's value. I think we both determine each other's value. What we
Gavin,
need,
you
what
heard
we're
me
looking for
correctly.
in life. This is what we're looking like everyone, we're all human beings. We all have a choice. We all have the ability to decide what we would like to have in our life, good or bad. There, no one was given dominion over anyone. Man was not given dominion over woman. Woman was not given dominion over man. We were only given dominion over the beasts of this earth, fowl, fish in the sea, not over each other. So, however two can come together and it works, that's between those two individuals. Everyone else need to stay in their own lane.
Let me read Officer Charles Scott. He said, yes, it does go down for women, especially after they have kids in age, just like a man who couldn't get his stuff together. His value is going to go down lower and lower.
That's his opinion.
Again, that goes back to the person that they're approaching. Like I said, if I'm looking for a certain type of person, certain type of woman, with kids, without kids, never married before, based on the person I meet, those things are going to be considered the values that I look for. But then she may meet somebody else that may be looking for everything that's in her. So, so again, you can't determine somebody's value. You can only determine if they're valuable to you, I should say.
Correct. Yeah.
You can only determine their value to you if they fit in the mold or the picture, the description that you're looking for as far as the person that you want. But I was talking about, I used to pray for the type of woman I thought I wanted. And I said, God, I want this type of woman. I would give this whole list. And then God give me that kind of woman. God would give me that type of woman and then turn around and I realized a whole lot of things I left off that list that person did have that I realized were important to me afterwards.
because we knew where he was going because a lot of men we often fall into that vein. We ask for the mentionables. He's physically attractive. He does this. He listens. He da 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 da. And then we don't think about the intangibles. Wow,
until you get the person that you asked for and realize there was so many things, and that has happened to me. Like I said, so I stopped asking. I stopped just giving descriptions of what I want, and I started saying, God, give me the person that you think is going to be best for me. And that's what I say now, because I would get this description and they would have everything. I was like, they have everything I asked for, and then get with them, and then it's like so many things. I'm like, damn, oh Lord, so much that you never thought about, and so much that you don't even think about. You're basically describing a lot of times is something totally different from what you just got out of. So you're trying to avoid.
You describe maturity. You describe maturing, going from thinking it's all about the aesthetics to realizing, like Herb said, the intangibles. There's
and that's
a lot more to it than just the physical,
just those tangible things, right? And so, like I said, for me, a lot of times I'm describing things that was different from what I had just got out of. In most parts. So it may have still been some things that I liked about that person that I was describing in my description. But then, like I said, when I get with the person or that, fed all those qualities, there was so many things that I didn't ask for that I realized that I wanted in the person that I want to be around. And so that's why I say I stopped asking or giving descriptions and started saying, God, just give me the person who you think is best for me.
So I was listening to some of this stuff in it. a memory came to my mind that people, dictating your value, because I can remember like grandparents saying to us, if it was certain things you could do, like, boy, you ain't worth shit. You ain't gonna be worth a dime, or whatever the case is. So a lot of that stuff was ingrained
They're
in
speaking
you
to
at a
you.
young
Mhm,
age, whatever that they used
mhm.
to say. I never really paid attention. Like if it was something they were like, you just sorry you couldn't do. I probably would mumble and talk shit under my breath, but I just thought about that. I was like, they used to put stuff out there at a young age. Ah,
But teachers did it too. Teachers did it in the schools. Tell you, you weren't,
You'll never
smart
amount to
enough, you weren't good
anything.
enough. Yeah, you'll never amount to anything. I remember the teacher when I was graduating from Riverside High School told me, um, I'll be dead or in jail by the time I was 18. That I would never. How did I get into UB? I'm not UB material. And I thought
And
about and
did you
that.
let their opinion uh determine your worth?
Oh no, because my grandmother
Okay.
told me when I was 9, 10 years old, I can do anything I set my mind to. And so him telling me that just made me determined, especially when I got into UB and got in some trouble and they were about to throw me out. And I thought about that teacher, me proving him correct. And I begged him, I said, give me one chance to prove that I want to be here. And the university gave me one chance. They said, we're going to give you one more chance, one more semester. And from
Mhm.
that point on, it was 2.8 and higher, 3.0.
So
I did everything I needed to do.
you didn't need to ask anyone else their opinion to
No,
determine your
I've
worth.
never,
Okay.
that was something I never did. Like I said, because my grandmother used to always say to me, you could do anything you set your mind to. And I said, why do you ask me? Why do you always say that? And she said, because every time somebody tell you can't do something, or or not to do something, if it's something you want to do, you figure out a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And because she saw me, I was out working in fruit stands and washing cars, always trying to make money, and I would do anything, if it was something I wanted to buy for myself, I would go out and sell fruit at a fruit stand and just whatever I needed to do to get what I wanted
Mm-hmm.
without doing something, stealing and all that kind of stuff. So it just was always in me. So when he said that to me, that was my motivation to prove him wrong. And when they were going to put me out of UB, because I moved on campus after my first semester freshman. I moved on campus, and I had like a 2.7 that first semester. When I moved on campus, I hung out with a bunch of people from New York and Syracuse and Albany.
Oh, yeah, but
I had a 0.795 average that semester. I didn't say 1 point. I said 0.795. And so they were like, "We about to put you out of here." And I
So I
thought
mean,
about that.
my thing about everything you're saying, Willie, is
Mm-hmm.
that it was just someone's opinion that you would end up dead or in jail. They were not telling you honestly. It wasn't, I see Charles Faulkner down here. It is not an opinion. Just ask a man who will honestly tell you. No man can tell me my worth.
Thank you. Yeah. But
but
that's how I got into working with the kids, because I thought about that teacher saying, tell how many kids did he tell that they shouldn't have gone to college? They
Mm-hmm.
were, because he kept saying, he said, why are you going to college? You need to go to Army, Navy, or just get a job, because you're not going to make it at UB. And that's what he told me. And I said, how many other kids did he tell that to that believed it, that trusted what he said and didn't go to college, didn't do anything other than what they thought they could do?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I got into working with kids, and that's what I talk about, the power of you, trusting and believing who you are and not
Mm-hmm.
let people
mm,
influence, the things that you want to do in life. And so I talk about that all the time in my programs, because I hear the teachers talking to the kids and some of the things they say to the kids. And some of the kids come to me and tell me what teachers are saying to them, and have desks set up where they got to sit in the corner with
mm.
stupid on the desk, wrote on the desk with a piece of paper, and the teacher make them go sit at the desk with this name on the desk saying stupid and all this kind of stuff. And the principals
Oh,
and people have no problem with that.
Mm.
well,
But I mean, I guess that's my thing. It doesn't matter if you're a woman of whatever age, if you're a child, a man, whomever, your world is a reflection of what you believe about yourself.
So,
But they
So
are,
the only way that those things become true is if you accept them as your truth.
but you got to think about it, as a child, you're looking at
Yeah.
that adult
Right.
as it's like, I like an authority. Well,
No, I
Mr.
get what you're
Mr.
saying,
Glover
but
said,
I'm applying this to our current
"Oh, okay,
topic.
okay." I thought, okay,
I'm not, and so I commend you for deciding to go back and because you want to be a positive influence to children who might otherwise be given these negative images of themselves from people that they see as an authority. So I commend you for that.
I wanted to read
Let's-
Officer Charles, this one comment. He said, a man can elevate a woman to the status of a queen. It does not work the other way. That was interesting comment.
The other thing, let's take this from a perspective of success. If a 38-year-old woman who just emerged from a 15-year marriage, she has 2 kids, the kids are fine. If she emerged from a 15-year marriage and she's not looking to do certain things, she's looking to go a certain way, but she's only met with failure, and somebody tells her something that reinforces her failures, then what does her results lead her opinion to become?
Well, you're pretty much saying what I said. She bought into what someone else told her about
what
herself.
else about else? Yeah, and that's the
No,
thing.
no, no. I'm saying she's been divorced. She's emerged from a 15-year marriage. She's been divorced for 5 years, so now she's 40. The last 5 years, her results are telling her something somebody's only reinforced. What is she to believe when what her results are just saying what somebody else has just verbalized? I'm not saying
Well,
that individual said
what
it
her
first.
results should be telling her is that she's looking in the wrong places. She's
Exactly.
going
That
after
she
the
needs to
same
change what she's
whatever
doing.
she's going right. She needs to change her description of what she's looking for. She needs to change her location of where she's looking for whatever it is she thinks she wants. Because
Exactly.
she's probably looking for somebody in the same place where she met the person that she's with, or she's in that same community and don't leave out of her community. So she's only going to meet a certain type of person that lives in that community.
Now,
a lot of times we don't relocate. We don't, we're not willing to relocate because of family or because we don't want to take the kids out of school or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you have, and I that's one of the things I talk about in my program. Surround yourself with better. Sometimes to be able to surround yourself with better means you have to move your location to be around something better.
Yes.
So
You have a lot of
your
people.
social circles. I mean, you don't necessarily have to move out of a community to do that. You change your social circles, and it's just like I don't remember who was saying it, but we now have social media. You can meet people across the globe. You don't have to be stuck in your community. You can meet people in your state even that don't live in your immediate community. So it's a matter of changing your habits, changing how you're moving, where you're moving.
The hardest thing known to man to change is what? The hardest thing known to man to change for an individual is what?
His underwear.
Nope.
I don't know.
I'm just playing. I don't know her. What is it, her?
Their habits.
Their habits.
It's said in order to.
Okay, well, if you don't want to change your habits, you don't want different results.
Exactly.
I concur, which is why a lot of women who have reached 40, who say they have this, and this, they can't find the quote unquote success they're looking for because they're unwilling to change what it is about them that has them mired in the place that they are. So when they come against somebody who only reinforces their lack of success, they think it's a person taking the shot at them, when in actuality they're just saying, hey, look, if you want different, you have to do different, and if you don't do different, then stop complaining.
So let me ask you this, Herb.
I don't think it's. Yeah, go ahead.
So is that the same for men over 40? Are they willing to change?
No, that holds true for anyone.
No.
Hmm.
That holds, but the difference is most men, if they're about their purpose and they're making good money, they're in the position to choose.
Okay.
So as opposed to only looking for a certain segment, they can reach back in the pool and say, you know what, I
So they
like.
start looking for different. That's what we're saying about women.
No. Men are willing to date younger and mold, whereas most women aren't willing to do that. Most women are willing to teach a man about sex. Most women are willing to teach a man about how to please her. They think you should come equipped and born with that stuff. Most men don't mind carrying the financial load for a younger woman. Most women are going to carry the financial load for a younger man. That's the rock and the hard
For a
space
younger
that
man,
a
you
lot
said,
of
or for a man, period.
Pretty damn
a man that's financially capable of doing that. A man that's financially capable of carrying the load is not going to mind reaching back and dating an older woman and carrying her financial weight and his. Most older women aren't going to do that for a younger man.
Well, yes,
So
a lot will.
No.
A lot will. And you find that
Yeah.
going on nowadays. And I talked about that. I think a couple weeks ago. I said, you have these guys whose mothers have given them everything and treat them certain ways. And when they move out, they're looking for a mama replacement. Because mama finally get them out the house. And then what do? They go find a mama replacement. And that's normally an older woman with a good
cougar.
job and good
Yeah.
things going on. And she wants that young man company, and she don't care that he does, whatever he's not doing or is doing, because she wants the companionship. She's not looking for somebody to provide because she's the provider. So he gets what he
And she wants that young
which is
man's energy.
Exactly.
Now the question becomes, how often do they get married?
Ain't nobody saying nothing about
I mean,
marriage.
they're probably
No,
not.
no, no. And I'm well aware, and that's the point. A man
Okay,
will
so
marry
what is
that
the
younger
problem?
woman,
If
and
they're
that
Not
not
really.
older
looking for
woman is not going to
marriage,
marry
they're
that younger
finding a
man.
man
Not so
that they
often.
There's
can
a lot of
entertain.
people that's in the older ages still getting married.
So are they marrying younger? So are they marrying
That
younger
wasn't the
men
question.
and carrying the financial weight for that family?
As we change, if the scenario keeps changing, the answer will never be an answer, because
Right.
once we answer one thing, you add a
One
different
question, the
scenario
scenario
onto
changes.
it. Now all of a sudden it's talking about marriage, and so I mean that all needs to be in the equation when the question is asked. We could go on with that forever. All of a sudden now we're talking about meeting somebody and getting married. That wasn't ever part. We went from value to now marriage.
What? Okay,
I thought she was just buying him a PlayStation. So what happened?
This is the interesting thing, real quick. Not to cut you off, Herb. It's that these absolutes where everybody feel like they have the answer. Not everything has to have you don't have to have an answer for everything. Okay, it's like, for instance, they're making a comment about, the mother did not prepare him or put him. Sometimes there's other people put in your life to teach you, and there's situations that you see for yourself, like, what, I want a different life. So you strive to have a different life. You try to do things differently. The scenarios can be any kind of way, and things happen all around and differently in everybody's life. There is no one straight shot answer for anybody's life. And that's the part where I think the issue comes in. It's so many different scenarios of any situation that takes place. There is no, this is why this is going on and this is why. No. That person, there's a lot of people that had perfect family households. Mother, father, good job, took care of them. And guess what? Single, don't have nothing, no children, nothing, ain't doing nothing for their life. On drugs, alcoholic. So come on now, we can't keep trying to give a absolute for something that can go in any direction and come and happen from all types of different circumstances.
And the thing about it is all, like you said, there's really no right or wrong answer. It depends on it could be the same situation but turn out different for any different individual. So there is no right or wrong answer. So like you said, Lakita, one example. Somebody could have a perfect um, father, doctor, mother, lawyer, and all that stuff, but then they end up not being worth nothing, as my grandfather would say, because he got tangled and mixed with the wrong people, which kind of set him back, and he never had that voice of reason or criticism in his head to say, damn, maybe I should make better decisions. He just, you know, flew by the cup and didn't make the right decisions. And now, shit, he's not doing as well. Or, but, you know, a lot of times people base that on the parent's success. If they're successful, that automatically the child is going to be successful, but that's not always the case.
That's not always the case. Now, is it more? Like you said, yeah. I mean, for the most part, will we hope that would be the case? Yeah, but it's not always the case. No.
Let's look at it like this: the 40-year woman is the focal point. So whether she regresses in her decision making or she progresses in her decision making, she's still the focal point. So whether she decides to date younger just for companionship, or she decides to date younger for marriage, she's still the focal point. What I'm saying is that if you take the average woman, she's not willing to go out there and work, toil, and torment to support a younger man for the rest of his natural life. Correct me when I'm wrong. The average woman is not willing to do that.
But maybe I'm missing something. Like, where are we going with this?
Right. What we're saying is, why is it harder for women who have their value to date when they reach the age of 40?
So she is dating because
Correct.
she is with somebody
Correct.
that's younger. That doesn't. So dating and taking care of somebody for the rest of their natural life are two different things.
Subjects.
Marriage is different than dating.
You are absolutely correct, but and that's why I jumped to.
She's doing it.
But that's why I jumped to the next question: is she dating just to have somebody next to her, or is she dating for an outcome? Most women are going to date for an outcome. You're not going to find women who want to have a different man with them every time they get tired of one man. That's per women. That's not per me.
Man, they probably want a different one.
Well,
so are we willing to say that the average woman is gonna spend the next 40 years of her life like that, conceivably?
I think most women and men are realistic that all relationships are not going to last a lifetime.
Okay.
They just don't. That's why it's dating versus marriage. And I think if a woman is seeing a younger man and paying for his existence or whatever, then she probably is not looking at him as marriage material anyway. Right. She's having fun while she can.
I don't know, but I know a lot of women, older women, that have dated and married younger men.
But were they taking care of them?
Bingo.
But this is the thing too. How do we know if they are or not?
Because the assumption is that a man that
doesn't necessarily mean they might be the breadwinner, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're taking care of him. Like,
right, it's an assumption. It's no truth in it.
All right, so let me ask.
I do know couples where the woman is making more than the man.
Right? Are they the same age though?
Yes.
Some are, and some
we're talking about ages that are in difference 15 years. So you show me the 25-year-old that's making as much as a 40-year-old woman, and I'll acquiesce to everything that you're saying.
Oh, I mean, I can attest to that. I've been in several rooms where I've had to deal with a lot of issues, especially from 45-year-old women, because they were feeling some type of way because I was their manager and I was their leader. So that's easy.
which
happened
is
to me too when I was younger. Absolutely.
which is all I'm saying. The resentment is going to build. This is why a woman won't marry a man that much younger, but she will have sex with him, sleep with him, and do things until she's tired of him,
Okay,
and then she go
so
Not
find the next one.
so
necessarily though,
again, she's
because what if
dating
you
though.
do have
So
that
that
man
doesn't
that's
mean that dating is difficult. She's dating.
Right.
Thank you. She's picking the guy she wants to date. She knows what she's looking for, and that person is the type of person she's looking for. If she's looking
And
for a
she's probably
husband,
not
then
looking at him for
looking at
marriage.
him, right? If she's
Or
So,
looking
just for
so
for
his money.
someone
Maybe she
that
don't need him like for his
companionship,
money. Right.
and so then that's what she's looking for. Like I said, people give descriptions of what they want, and they look for a mate or a person to date based on that description. So if it's
Everybody
somebody
need a
for a
Melvin in their life.
companion and not for a husband, they're not going to try to date somebody who they know is looking to be a husband. They're looking for somebody who's okay with being a companion.
I think they would make him a husband. I just think they would if that's something that if it comes to that point, they would. If he stepped up to the plate and said he wanted to marry her, I don't see why most women wouldn't marry. But
But if the
everybody
person,
teaches
like
on.
I said,
Everybody's
if the
different.
person isn't looking for a person that wants to get married, then she's not going to date a person who's interested in getting married.
I was answering it according to what was the statement that was made before you were talking. So I wasn't addressing you. Well, I was addressing what was said
Oh,
earlier.
well, it came after mine, so
So
I just assumed
that's
you were.
okay. This is me having a conversation. But one thing I would say, like if you think about how okay, I look at it like this. In this real estate game, I've been in all kind of homes. Beautiful to the slums. And I can never depict what a person like or dislike until I take them out to look at these homes. You would never expect a person to pick a slum home to say, okay, I wouldn't mind this being my home. And it kind of boggles me because you never know what a person will accept or not accept. So that's where I'm going with that. The same thing with relationships. You never know what a person is willing to accept or not accept, to give and take, or to sacrifice to have certain things in their life. So I don't think it's an absolute, and I don't think it's extreme either to say it's based on each individual's experience, desires, wants, how they, and how a person makes them feel. Like I wouldn't have a problem dating a man or even marrying a man that made less money than me. Is that meaning I'm taking care of him? No. That just means we're partnering, putting our money together, and we're making it work.
Oh my God, you're the devil. You said partner.
Okay? Yes, we're partnering. I don't care if it's an 80-20 partner, it's a 70-30, 50-50, 60-40. It's still a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't, however the ratio you want to put. And the thing is, when you think about that too, like there's some things like men like to do or women like to do that crosses over. Cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, paying the bills. Someone is more financially responsible than the other. That's all about finding that person that fits what's your strengths and your weaknesses. Everybody's not supposed to be always going to be at 100 on everything, or the man going to be 100 on everything. No, you're not. Men are not going to always have the answer. Women are not going to always have all the answers. So however that split is, you complementing each other regardless of how it comes together. It's together, and it's between that man, that woman, or that woman and woman, or that man and man. I ain't trying to say nothing. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to make nobody upset about nothing. I'm just saying.
yeah, because it is that month.
That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes it could be like you said, look here, just a particular situation that may cause that person to like, you know what, he may not make this much, but I know one thing. He was there, and when I was going through something, he helped with my kids, and my kids adored him, and all that stuff, whatever. So he showed me this part of him that was different, and he's passionate about children or whatever the case is. So you don't know what those twerks could be. It could be
Right.
something small, but it connects, it connects your heart to his, and you like, hey, I don't care what nobody say. I got people in my ear. Even we move on to the next subject about social class, and they're like, why are you with him? But it may be certain things that you may know in a relationship that you just really haven't shared with nobody else, and like, this is why I'm with him, because it may not make sense to them. So I always say, keep people out your damn business anyway, but that's a whole different story. Another Texas bound. What's
There she
good?
be.
You over there packing?
Girl, you don't even want to see this. I just went under a whole meltdown earlier today because I don't like stuff disorganized.
Oh,
And I'm just like, I literally bust out in tears and was just like overly emotional. Like, oh my God, there's way too much going on in my house. So,
Bring
I'm
your
here tonight.
girls over there and y'all drink some wine and y'all pack
I was
that
just
shit
Have
and
a
about to
relax.
packing
say,
party.
Right.
See, but
Exactly.
that don't do well for me because I have a control issue. I don't want
And
people
you know what? I
See,
felt like
see,
I was
that's
gonna
the
say that.
problem.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
So,
Felt like
definitely
you
a
was gonna say
problem.
that.
but
yeah,
you
that's
can
not
set
gonna work for me.
it up. You can set it up. Have one person in the daggone kitchen, and then you
I'm
right
in this.
there. In the
I'm an
next room.
empath, so a lot of people at one time for me is a little too much,
Oh,
and it's a distraction.
gotcha.
So I'm like, okay, I got one person coming over tomorrow, and this is my cousin, is like my sister. She's close to me. She know how I am. She's coming over. Everyone's offering, but I can't take all the offers. I can't. It's overwhelming me.
I feel you.
Okay, that's my meltdown. How y'all doing?
Congratulations.
Right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Moving on up.
When
Get
is
used
it
to that
now
heat.
official?
I hear that. Get up out of this city, man.
Okay, Herb, just take the bag of chips and just take off.
He is
Right.
having a ball with them chips. He want
Yeah.
every
I was like
crumb,
Stick
straight,
your
like
whole face in it.
seasoning.
Right. There you
right.
go.
Just take the
And
bag off. Just
everything.
lick the bag now. Just open the bag and
You
lick
go
it.
like cut it down to
And
Yeah. Wow. All right.
So I lost my etiquette for a moment. My apologies.
But yeah,
All
that's
right.
tremendous
Whew.
news, and a power move, and that most people don't be trying to make moves like that once they get comfortable, but I guess you got to get uncomfortable for growth.
That's a
yeah,
good
it's very
point.
uncomfortable. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me share this testimony really quick. This is some good stuff. So initially, I had always thought of moving, getting out of Buffalo, and I was really pressed about it after my divorce. But it just seemed like when I was trying to do it, every obstacle that could come before me was happening. So I was like, okay, I'm trying to rush something that I'm not ready for. So this one, I just was going back and forth visiting. I had no idea Texas would even be on the radar. North Carolina was it, had at my house. I was like, I'm good. And I went there and I just on a humble was like, apply for this job at the hospital. Let me see if they go. These people literally called me the next day and was like, oh my God, your resume is
Wow.
impressive. Can we meet with you in an hour? Sure. I just still was having the interviews with them. Like, yeah, they got like 50 million candidates because they kept saying we got so many candidates. And I was the only one out of state. So I'm like, oh, they not gonna look at me because I'm gonna ask for some relocation money. Sure enough, 6 interviews. By the 7th interview, it was final decision and offering me a salary that was actually
Wow.
50,000 more than what I make here.
Oh,
And on top of
Wow.
that, relocation. So when I say this is definitely a God move, it is not about Annette.
that's
It's
it.
Yep.
not
No
about
That's
reason
that.
it.
for you to say
That
no.
is
Stop.
so
No way for
good.
you to say
Congrats
no
to
on that.
you.
That's right.
To God be the
Good
glory.
job.
And
To God be
Congratulations.
the
I
glory.
think what a lot of people don't realize is that New Yorkers across every discipline are always going to be highly sought
highly
after
regarded education.
because of the
Absolutely.
educational system that
So
the
true.
that the
So
state
true.
puts
Highly
forth.
regarded
So
education.
anywhere you go with New York credentials, you're bound to make more money because
Mhm.
you're not of the
Hers
local
telling the
educational
truth.
system.
So
Yeah,
true.
hers
Yeah.
telling the truth. Even our license and them calling and get my license. If I would have did it myself, it would took 6 months. They did it in 3 days.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
Okay.
they
That's
can move
how
things like
they
that.
said it to me. They said what Herb said. They said anybody, anyone getting any type of
Yep.
qualifications, certifications, licenses, anything from New York
Yep.
State,
New York State.
we know you are well and definitely
Yep.
equipped for the job.
They
Right.
they know the
I
New York
will I
State
will
education system is so much better than so many other locations. It's
yeah.
ridiculous. I remember when I graduated from UB, I had went down to Atlanta because I was going to plan to move to Atlanta after graduation, and I had went down to the county building because down there you can just take any exam you want. You can just walk in and take exams. And I went down and I just spent the day taking exams. And by the time I got back to Buffalo, I had 5 job offers in Atlanta. And only reason why I stayed was because my daughter. I didn't want to leave my daughter up here. But
One
I
thing
had
I did
5 job
experience.
offers. I had just graduated.
One thing I experienced where I know, well, someone just shared with me the other day that they're moving out of New York State as well, and they got, because they're making 10,000 more than what they were making here. There's so much more money being made outside of New York State, which
Mhm.
that's another thing that's sad to hear because we pay the most taxes, well, to some degree. But when I graduated from high school with a bookkeeping certification. I was 16 when I graduated from high school. Moved to North Carolina, and I was working in a patient accounts department with 40 and 50-year-old women at 16, making the same salary. They were from the education that I had from New York.
Oh
They
man.
all thought I was older because I looked older and I had a son, but I was 16 working in the patient accounts department.
Not to
So it's like,
sidetrack the discussion, but that's what the Common Core issue at no pun intended. That was what was at the core of Common Core. So you had a lot of students before Common Core. They would travel north. They would get put back in grade because the educational
They were
standards
behind,
of those
right?
states were behind. Conversely, you had students that would come from New York and they would get pushed up. So Common Core was set to balance that, and now they've got rid of Common Core. You're starting to see a lot of those things kind of just slide back into their old ways. And this, like I said, not to sidetrack the conversation, but this leads into what is the name? It just eluded me just that quick. They're talking about oh, I can't remember right now, and it'll come back to me. But the historical perspective with teaching, and they're talking about that. So that also starts to snake its way into it. So just be aware of all these things and how they're at play. But I will say this, Annetta, when you get down there, this is for your own good. Make sure you go get yourself a firearm because Texas is an open carry state.
It's an open carry, but I gotta ask a question, Willie.
Yeah.
My what I have here, don't I gotta turn that in?
You got to check on that. You may have to get it transferred over to their state.
Okay.
There's a way where you can, just like you
I
get your
need to
license
work
transferred
on
down
that
there, you
because
can.
I'm gone the end of the month.
no, you have to register. You have to change.
Yeah, you
Anytime
can.
you
You
change
can.
your
All you have to
address,
do is contact
you have to change your registration for your address purposes too.
Yeah, that's
And
what
it
I thought.
depends on the type of firearm you have too, because if you just may not be able to.
Officer Charles, what's the answer?
Well, I'm sorry, Annetta. What was the
Thank
question you asked?
The question I asked is
her
my
carry
concealed
permit that she
weapon I
has
have in
now.
New York State. Don't I have to turn it in? Because
No,
I'm going
you're always you as long as you what's going to happen is this: you're going to have to get certified to carry in Texas. but ours are governed through our county. I'm not sure how our Texas is done. Texas might be state, it might be
That's why she
county.
got to
So
call
your
down
pistol
that.
permit here is issued through the county. So I would actually start looking that up online now, and then make some phone calls. So when you get down there, you're in step with what's going on.
Yeah, it
Okay, yeah, I
definitely
need to do that
depends on the
tomorrow.
type of firearm that it is because
Yeah.
some firearms in one state you don't have to have a license, and in another state you do.
And you
Oh,
might
here
want
we
to
go.
try to
Come
judge
on.
that
That's the
before you
man
go
with
down there.
the
And
answer.
concealed, and
Man
it
with the
depends
answer.
on whether you're concealing and all that other stuff.
What was the
Officer
question?
Charles,
Yeah.
because I have a pistol permit in New York State and I'm moving to Texas, how
Oh,
do I
pistol.
transfer and migrate? How do I do that?
You don't have to transfer your gun. You have a permit to carry.
I didn't hear you.
You have a permit to carry.
Yes.
There's all you had to do was Google your state and where does my, let's say, Maryland gun permit, where can I carry in this state because of the gun permit? For example,
Oh, okay.
Maryland recognizes nobody. It's just that type of state. But yet I could carry in different states. But you have to, I forget what it's called.
It's
Reciprocity.
I know the part for that. I know the reciprocity part, but I'm trying to think of the site. You could just Google it and
I'm
say,
looking
where
at
does
it
my
right
New
now,
York
actually.
gun from? My New York gun permit goes to which state? But if
It
you get
says-
like a Utah and Florida, you pretty much carrying in 90% of the states anyway.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it
Because
says
usually
for-
Texas is pretty liberal when it comes to gun. As a matter of fact, majority of it's an open carry anyway.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much gonna have to like get a holster on the outside of your clothes instead of like doing what I do all the time and tuck it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because here in Buffalo, I got a tuck.
But when you said register, you could probably go on Texas. How long are you gonna be? How far away are you moving towards there?
I'm moving to Texas
She's moving there.
from Buffalo, New York.
No, I said what's the time frame?
End of this month.
Oh, I leave
She's
the
going
end of
into
this
this
month.
month.
Okay, you already got the house or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just all you got to do is call Texas State, whatever the rangers or whoever handles their permits, because each state, usually the state police. Yeah, some places differ. The state police issues out the permits to carry, but I would also check with the gun laws of the state because you probably don't need a permit. You just need to have a holster that you could carry on the outside.
Okay.
But always be governed by it's a little website. I think it's USDA or something like, not USDA. It's something. I got to look it up because I was just looking at it yesterday where it tells you where your gun permit is allowed in each state.
It says
I
for
got
New
it.
York.
Search it up.
Yeah, it says for New York, you go Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Mississippi, Montana, New Hampshire, North Carolina, South Dakota, and Vermont. But
I don't know why anybody need a fucking permit to
Dakota because there's only 2 people. Like, what you gonna shoot a bear?
Man.
You
I
most
was just
likely
about to say them damn big ass.
They got horses and cows there.
you most likely gonna get in a shootout with a bear. Even the
What's
bears
the
got
other
open
thing?
carry.
I can't think of it. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of it? I saw one.
Think of something else. It comes to you.
I don't know. I can't even. I don't know. It
It's
was
like
a big animal.
it's like looking like you probably get a couple of Wolverines attacking you. But if you got a 9mm trying to shoot a bear, good luck.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say, you better off just running.
No, you better don't run because the
Play
motherfucker
that.
out.
Don't run. What you supposed to do?
You play that. That's what they tell you.
You
You
either
cannot
get a
outrun a bear.
Get
What
big.
you're supposed to do is carry a 12 gauge with slug,
Um,
shoot it, and then repeat,
right.
and then get for the high ground in case it's still running. Usually
I'm
that
running,
ounce.
but I ain't going that far, but I'm running. I ain't about to be sitting around no damn
No,
crib.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of like a part of the Negro race. We love nature, but from afar. I'm not like the Caucasian guys. Like it's a bear. I think I could ride it.
Mm-mm.
Not me.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the second point: the impact of social class on relationships. So, who wants to
Baby, I'll go
dive
in.
into that?
I'll go in first to that one. Like I said before on BGS's channel about class and hierarchy. Our people do not like hierarchy because guess what? We don't like to admit that some people may be better, smarter, faster, stronger, whatever. We're not all equal. So unfortunately, there has to be a champion. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to win the belt of the Super Bowl. So when you're looking at class, it's gonna play a role. And women have always been held tighter to class than anything because a woman always wants to brag on what her man does, especially in relationships. You have women who in corporate America, not saying all, but she's dating a guy who's a truck driver. Yes, that truck driver can make more than her, but does he fit in that circle where she is in? Because a lot of times the problem is not just what it's who you know. And if you're going to the governor's ball and you're dating a dude who does it on the suit, that's kind of going to be a problem in that relationship. Because yes, if she's brought up upper crust, it could be same thing for the dude. He could love the woman and do whatever, but if she doesn't fit in, and it's going to be harder once again for women because women are going to try to peck at that woman because she's not in the group, unfortunately. Whereas though men in our community, it's like when you came to Baltimore County, we were at the cigar lounge. You had a couple of cops. You had Anwar with a PhD. You had another dude with a master's. Another dude who owns a truck company. We tend to be more flexible with that. So it's kind of like an ebb and flow for us. As long as black men typically like, if you cool with me, I'm cool with you.
Mm-hmm.
We all barbershop shit. That's the type of mentality we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Interesting.
No,
Anybody
that's
else?
true because there's a lot of people carry a lot of pride. Pride, and I'm not saying that it's always bad, but there are also false prides. And
Excuse
it's
me
true.
for a
Like,
minute. That was the truth. Even when Willie was shaking his head, yes.
say it again. I don't understand.
I said, it's the truth. Even Willie shook his head, yes.
I just shake my head. I'm sitting there reading. I ain't even hear the statement.
Willie D.
I'm just picking this ass, man. What's up, man?
I know.
So as I was saying that, yeah, no, pride. People. I mean, because it's true that even how a person looks, not just that, that's why even with the statuses of a woman having a certain body type or age, when you deal with, certain class of men, even with the women, same thing. I do see that. I noticed that when I was in Miami, it was deep down there. I saw that a lot. It's just a certain, and it's like, who wants to say, oh, my husband's a farmer, but but in a culture of Hispanics and even white, there's hate, they have farmers. That's all. That's what they do. But when you think about the black culture, we don't, when we say, oh, my man's a farmer, is that, it's not like, oh, really? That's what, he's a farmer, or, it's not as, I guess,
Well,
appealing.
we don't really have any farmers that, are locally here to say that, I
Right,
don't
but you know what
know.
I'm saying? But it doesn't. But there's farmers here. Like, there's a lot of Jamaicans in this area. So to say that you're dating or married to a Jamaican farmer, that may not always be appealing. But he has a job. That's all that matters. He's working. He's hardworking, and they're maybe more hardworking than most in that field.
I think the problem is we so descriptive about people, what they do. for a living versus the heart of a person. You know, I'm learning more and more about myself. I found out that I am very title driven with men, not with myself, but with men. I like a man that has a good job, pretty good title, and a good income. But again, I found that out about myself. So we do look for someone who has some sense of financial, social, economical stability.
So you have a description. I think that's what we talked about earlier. We're talking about people having a description of the type of person that we want to date or be involved with. Yeah,
it's not good, but we do.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying. It's not good because sometimes we leave out some things in our description that once we get that person, we realize some things are missing that we should have had in our description.
And
But,
see,
a lot of things are driven by status. You know, like you said, you dating a person, and when you go to that job, you go to your company's Christmas party, and when they say ask your date, what does he do? You want to feel comfortable, and certain people are on status. They don't want someone to say, "Oh, I work for the water department." They don't want that. They don't want that type of introduction. They want, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, so you have people that have those statuses. And sometimes that, like I said, that can really put you in a situation where you're dating someone based on status and not, like Annetta said, not on who they are on the inside.
We can't even get past bringing the person to the family function and having the people that's critiquing, they ain't doing shit, but they want to come down on you for who you brought, but they ain't did shit.
Exactly.
So I'm breaking out the cognac. I'm breaking out the cognac. The women agree with me. Oh shit, celebrate. So you got to think about it. I don't blame women for their nature. You'll never hear me on your podcast or mine or BGS's or anybody's blaming women for their nature. If somebody asked me a question a while ago, should a woman love me for who I am and what I can do? Yes, she should love me for all that shit. So I'm not upset about that. So when I look at it, like my dad said, women see the price of something, men see the value. Yes, women want to be able to say he's the CEO, he's the senior VP. It's bragging rights. Just like when men are visual creatures, we want our chick to have more curves than the Beltway. Yes. We want them to have a pretty face. Yes. We want them to know how to cook when, my baby did this. Yes. Yes. Motherfuckers don't want to lie. Guess what? If you got a bad chick who can cook, you just looking at your friends like, I know you're jealous. And then they have to bow their heads down and say, yes, I am. And personally, I did that many a times to friends, but it's something that's fundamentally human. Because the problem with the Black community is that we want everybody to do well, just not better than us.
Yeah, that's a key issue. And I don't.
Mic drop.
That's the truth. But instead of just being happy for one another, like just what's happening with Annetta, that's an amazing situation to happen for you. You know what I mean? If women should and men should be happy for you and proud for you, but not everybody's going to. Not everybody's going to.
And we also gotta also keep in mind, like you said it probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, Lakia, when you was like, you got to know the difference between haters and people who just don't know something. And I've learned that even in teaching Bible study a couple of weeks ago. I said I can't stand when people always talk about I got haters. No, you have somebody who don't know their purpose. And because they see you walking in your purpose or doing something that's purposeful for you, they're sitting baffled and confused because they don't really know what they're supposed to do. So I don't think it's hating. I think it's, I think it's somebody who just can't find their way. So they're trying to figure out, well, why does that happen for them? Because you have identified who you are and your gifts and your talents. And some people have not recognized that. So I'm very careful with saying people are jealous or people, you know what I'm saying, are haters. I think sometimes people just don't know what they're supposed to do in life. They don't know what their plan is in life.
Well, I mean, I understand. I totally understand what you're saying, but I think there's still people that's jealous.
Yeah,
And their
there's definitely those.
action speaks louder than words for me. When you have someone that's messy boots. That's what you call, you call folks just calls and nonsense because they are jealous. No, I've experienced that, and I would, and even when I notice that with people, I don't try to say, "Oh, you just jealous." I'd be like, "Listen, well, what about you? What can we do to help you get, you know what I mean?" Or I try to help build that person up. You're a beautiful person. I try to make a person see their worth of who they are. Would help them try to understand what they have that is just
And
as
that they don't
valuable.
need to be you to have worth.
Exactly. I strive
Right.
to throw that out there, instead of be like, girl, you just
Right.
jealous. You need to get no. I try to say, but
Right.
I think you have a lot going on for yourself too. I try to uplift and build, and so that we all can go together. But no, when you see people's
Mm-hmm.
actions, they speak louder than words.
And see,
Yeah.
the thing about that
And
also
so,
is
what do y'all feel about? Because sometimes you have men that you have married or dated that jealous of you.
we had
They
that show
jealous
Yeah.
before. Don't
because
be jelly.
you know what I'm
Remember
saying.
that?
But no, that's real though. That's real. Am I
Yeah,
right,
It is.
ladies? That's
It
real.
is.
It
It
is.
You
is.
have
it is.
men that you dated that's like, yo, everything just happens so easy for you. No, it doesn't. I see the plan and I'm executing it. It
Right.
don't happen easy for me. I'm just getting up off the couch and I'm not playing a video game or watching
Yeah.
TV all day and I'm doing something.
Right.
Well, everything was handed to you. Well, you were born with a silver spoon. Not to
Right.
like,
Right.
That's crazy.
Not at
what?
all. Had to put the work in.
Yeah.
See, some
Wish I
people
could
when you
be
talk
a
about the
non-adult one day.
hatred stuff, they don't even realize that if you make it in a certain area, that you got the potential to pull them in. I don't know who got
Mm-hmm.
a couple things on with the echo, but I think that's the key. Like I never figured that out. Could get it when somebody doing well, they doing well, and if we got personal contact and and it's something that I'm interested in, I want the best for them because hopefully we had that type of bond or relationship that could say, you know what, oh, David next, he next, whatever. So once I get this going, I'm gonna pull him in. Then I'm gonna pull the next person in. You form trees. Our trees and shit is so broken, and the branches fall off, whatever. But other cultures, they have trees, and it just go from generation to generation, or from friends to friends, and they all do well. We
Mhm.
just
I
sit
think
around looking stupid in the face.
because I think we have a tendency to fear that if I pull David in, they might recognize his talent and he might leapfrog me.
I
I
don't
can't
care
have
about
that.
that.
So
I don't
I'd
even
rather
care about
David
that.
not be in.
If I'm pulling Lakia in and she end up making more money, but I'm still making good money, and it's, you know what I mean? Hey, do your thing,
But
whatever.
that's
Do your
that
thing.
unfortunately, too often that's not how we
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that's
But
sad.
Mhm.
but if another ethnicity, another race, whatever, another culture come in behind us and end up ahead of us, we don't have no problem. But
Yeah, that's true. So we have a lot of work to do, a lot of work, and everybody asks for solutions. Yeah, this this is so out of control. Like who can come up with a direct solution and say this is gonna work. Only thing we can do is work on ourselves first,
That's it.
Yes.
and that's
That's
the
it.
start to be a
That's the
better
I
start.
think
person.
work on ourselves first
Yeah.
and then try to impact those around us.
Hmm.
Like again, like David, you working in the schools. I can't I say it all the time. I tell y'all all the time, you all that work with kids these days, more power to you. God
Amen.
bless you. Because I couldn't see it. I
God
mean,
can do it.
Every day. I just got offered a job at Walmart checking to make sure people on their receipt had paper detergent and all that. That shit looking real good right now instead of working at that school. Looking real
But
good.
asset protection, loss prevention.
But I
Looking
mean,
real
like
good.
seriously, so you gentlemen that are working with children, Netta, I know you work in the ministry and you do counseling, and even Lakia with your kids. I know that's where my biggest impact is too. But that stuff is, you start with yourself, and then
It
you
trickles down.
reach out. You reach out to
Definitely.
those immediately around you that you can impact.
You know,
So
it's
you
sometimes, yeah.
can't change the whole world, but you can make an impact. You can make a difference.
In your village. It's like I tell people what I've experienced is that when I get something in check with my own life, it trickles down to my kids.
Mhm.
It's like I'm their head, and it's like, okay, like I've had times where I was having experience with one of my kids and they was acting up, and I'm like, Lord, what is wrong with that child? And what was it he said to me? He said, the words that I was saying to my child was bouncing off of him and coming back to me. And when I got it together, that child got it together. That's how, so it's like when I'm in a space where I feel like I am in that space of covering, everything attached to me is covered, because and that's where we are responsible. We feel like we're not responsible for other people's lives. We are greatly responsible for other people's lives, people that are not even related to us, but people that's part of our circle, or people we have that are attached to us. We are responsible, and the way we live our lives helps helps them, in their lives. So I'm a full believer of that. And I even tell my kids, because like my one son or daughter would take my other daughter's clothes, and when she keep taking my clothes, he taking my clothes, and I said, listen, somebody got to stop, break the mold. Somebody has to stop. When the one person decides to say, you know what, just because they did this to me doesn't mean I have to do it back, then I promise you, then that
That'll
whole
be
thing is going to change. That cycle will stop. And the cycle stopped. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like somebody, that's why it starts, like David said, like you said, it starts with us. And the more people that gets more in tune with wanting to be better as human beings, and I think that we know it all. I know I don't know it all, and I know I can't do it all myself. I need a savior. I need help. And I
Sometimes
think
we
that's what helps me keep being growing and being able to help my community, my people, whoever I'm connected to.
sometimes we need adult mentors, people to still shape and mold us, whatever. As adults, we don't have all the answers. And if it's a certain profession or certain career that you want to go down, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to get direction for somebody. But too often we get caught up in that, lingo. I'm a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass woman. What I look like asking this person for that.
And
But they
and
excelled at that. So what's wrong with if you're trying to get to the next level to ask for help? Like, how do I get here?
so just like you're saying that, David, and going back, kind of piggybacking on something Shaughnessy said, as we get older, that's also something that we have to um be open to, is that there's a lot to learn from younger people. We don't know it all. Sometimes they know stuff that we don't. Sometimes those fresh eyes, those fresh experiences, that zest, that energy, they have things that we can learn from. So just like you're saying, David, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody to be like, hey, I want to be better. I want to learn. That person isn't always older than you. That person isn't always in your age bracket. Don't cut off younger people and
Yeah, young
assume they
people.
have nothing to offer you because you're older.
Yeah, they got that computer stuff and all this technology
I
on
was just
Smash. On
saying, y'all, I
Smash.
say these old people life, y'all. They was still faxing stuff. I was just like, no. And they were like, no, it cuts it off. I had to shut up. It's just the setting. Y'all gotta just change the setting. It was like, oh my gosh, life is so much easier. Every time I see them in the hallway, they act like I'm the next thing to God. They think I done changed it like that. And all
Y'all
I
the
did,
youngest in charge.
I
That's it.
changed the daggone scanner set. I'm like, Lord. And they're so thankful because it did change their workflow for the better. But they just were so used to doing it the old way or an older way. And they weren't really sure how to. And although they are tech savvy, they do know some things. They don't know everything, but just literally a simple, like, oh, let me show you. Sometimes you have to be open to that in order to move forward and progress.
Facts. Anything else on this point? We can move it along. We're gonna move it along.
Move it along.
Okay.
Move
Number
it
3.
along.
Just because two people dated the same person, does that mean they are the same person?
No.
No way. No way.
Talk to me
No
One
about that.
thing,
way.
different people
Heck
bring out
no.
different things, and that
Yes.
those
Man.
different people probably brought out different things with that one person in common.
That's right.
Yes, man.
Hmm.
No way, Jose.
I don't think so at all.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so at all, meaning that they're the same, they're not the same person?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, I
You
think
can
what
be
they say, I'd agree. They're not the same person. I think that I met my ex-husband's new friend, girlfriend, lady. I'm not sure. And I was watching him hold the door and do stuff. I was like proud of him, like he was one of my sons. It was like, come on now, that's pretty
Totally different
amazing,
person. Totally
I
right?
different
So
even
person.
Was you a little
that had
jelly?
me view it differently. Was I jealous?
Yeah, was you a little jelly?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, not at all.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I'm just messing with you.
Mm-mm.
You said it,
Mm-mm. I wasn't.
David. You jealous?
I
A
wasn't.
little bit.
I'm like, girl, I got
It's
the
that mic
best
control. When you
years
got that
and the
mic, it's
worst years.
different.
You good?
Okay.
Nah, I'm
I've
good.
actually
You
seen
know,
the opposite
oh, go
too.
ahead.
I was actually surprised. I can say for me, an ex of mine, the new person that he's dating, initially I was like, ain't no way. There's no way. It just the education, the verbiage, the wigs, I just like, yeah, no. And it's really his girlfriend. Like they live together and I'm out to the phone. It, it you'd be surprised.
Opposites
Yeah,
attract.
you get unbothered too. You don't that stuff don't bother you. You be looking like,
Oh no,
okay, man.
absolutely. Yeah, no, not a bother. It's definitely not a bother. It's just a surprise that you know some people have types and some people I guess they just I don't know. But sometimes you would think that a person would kind of stay away from certain kinds of people. So sometimes it's actually a shock. It's a shock to me.
No, it wasn't for me.
It's different. Like it is true. Like in dating, there's some guys I'm a little bit more reserved with because I'm still trying to. Oh, that's a
Somebody got
horrible
an echo going.
echo. I
Yeah.
don't sound cute.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't sound cute at all. But let me might soften my voice. I
Oh boy.
um, but like I think because I was maybe a little intimidated by them, and I want to be perfect, and I want to be all cute, and I want to make like give off this, you know, perfect Patty type thing.
And you're right.
Am I right? Trying to anyway. That's depending on who the guy is. But I'm saying before, now I don't care. Now I'm just me. I don't care. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. Bye. Or like um,
So
Like
are
that.
you talking from the standpoint of meeting a current ex? Or are you
Yeah, read
talking
the
about
question again, Dave.
from the
'Cause I'm kind of.
standpoint of no, I'm asking Lakia in
Oh,
particular. Are you talking
Um,
about meeting a person's ex or meeting a person's current that was your ex?
oh, okay. That I was thinking about just being a different person depending on type who the guy is.
Oh, okay. You
I was
just
thinking
mean
about
overall period.
yeah, overall. But then to say that I have okay, so is that the question too, where
Yeah,
you
I
said
think that would align because you're
what's the
basically
question again, Dave? Because I was going to ask you
I
that
said
anyways.
just because two people dated the same person does not mean they are the same person. So when I think of this question, this isn't my question, but when I think of this question, it could be like some, people who that's associates or something, and they dated the same person, but all of a sudden that person is different
Oh, I got
with that
something for
other
that.
person.
um
Is
oh
Could
I thought
I got something
I
for
answer
that.
that? Could I answer that?
Oh Lord, we
Could I
got a
answer that?
story.
I took it
I-
as
Go ahead.
you're dating the same there's the same guy and he dated a stripper and then he dated a judge. And
Oh,
no. That's why I said it
I'm
the way
gonna
that I
answer that
did
question.
because,
I'm gonna
like I
answer
said,
that question with the real. I'm gonna answer that question with the real. And I'm only 40. I'm still a young man. Well, fuck it. I got 20 more years if my black ass was in Ukraine to fight. So hell, I'm gonna tell you what it is. You're not everything to everyone. Meaning, the girl somebody might call, oh, she's a freak, may not be a freak for you. Just
mm-hmm.
like you may not be a freak for everybody. You may be
hmm
husband
that
material to
is
some people.
100%
For
true.
somebody
Because
else,
guess
right?
what? There's some girls I've dealt with that guess what? For me, it's on sight. Like Annie's already thrown in my face. For the other guy, he gotta wine and dine. He gotta put in more. Because you can't guess what? Y'all laughing because y'all know.
No, that's true. No, another time someone agrees with you. Yeah, that's true.
Y'all, cognac time. But
That's so
that's
true.
the one thing. That's the one thing I learned about. That's why I said I always joke with Adwar. My PhD is knowing men and knowing women, is knowing their nature. Look, I'm Baskin Robbins got 32 flavors. Okay, I may not be yours. That's why I'm not upset if me and my man's approaching the same female. He getting more feed. Hey, I dip off. If I'm
hmm
getting more feed, he dips off. That's how you know you got a real dude in your corner.
Right.
So for what
Right,
what
not trying to hate.
what there's no hate in my group. That's what I love about my brothers. I don't have
Right.
friends, I got brothers. See, a lot of guys get fucked up in the game because they don't realize, yeah, if you don't have what she want naturally, yeah, you're gonna have to pay a tax. Just like if she doesn't have what you want naturally, she might have to pay a tax. And I'm cool with
hmm
that. And I understand. Guess what? Think about it. When big girls back in the day when I was small, growing up in the 80s, guess what? They were the nicest women. They cooked. If they wanted a guy they thought was so fine, they had to show more.
Mhm.
And it was okay. Just like the dude who wasn't the most handsome guy out there, he had to be able to fix the fuck out of a sink. He had to, he had to be the cop. He had to show his abilities more. Whereas though, guess what? There's some people in this world that are universally beautiful that get away with some shit that the normal
hmm
people can't. But when we understand that, like I tell a lot of dudes, well, I'm short. Guess what? You can't worry about the vertical, but you could put some muscle on your ass.
Yeah.
You could dress better. You could become a more traveled, worldly man. Think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Well, I didn't finish my degree, but guess what? 5 of my ex-girlfriends, they needed my help to figure out shit for their degrees. And they were like, they'll tell you, oh, this
Did you just
motherfucker.
say 5?
But I was just
Five?
thinking 5. Okay, you
In other
flying through,
words,
Don't be
huh?
jelly,
in other
ladies.
words,
Don't be jelly.
in other words, if you really want me to tell you,
Say, we
if
don't
you
need
really
you to
want me to
back
tell
away
you,
Wait,
from that
hold
mic.
trust
on,
me,
hold on. So when
I
you
I have
just
say
want
no
you to
5,
problem telling you the exact
denominator
number.
5.
wait,
I,
when
I
you
can
say
tell you the exact number if you like.
so when you say 5 girlfriends, are you really saying like 5 like
At the same time?
Girlfriends? No, I'm not even five. I wasn't even thinking same time. I mean,
The
like
most
5
for
actual
girlfriends I had at the time
relationships or
was two,
5 girls
but
you were dealing with.
there was. Guess what? It's not uncommon for a nice, worldly man who has his rugged good looks and can dress well. It's not uncommon to have a Hall of Fame and an All Pro on your team.
No, it's the difference in having a roster in several different
I'm
relationships.
talking about different time periods.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, he's talking
Okay.
about that. I
I
think
was
Because if
that's
about
you
to
wanted
say,
to
is it
talk
a
about
roster or
my roster at one point, my roster was just as good as the 2001 Ravens defense.
ain't nothing wrong with that?
But at the same time, some guys, I got more out of friends who I never was sexually involved with who were female than some
Mm.
guys who were married. When I had COVID really badly back about 2 years ago, a female friend of mine from the department, her cousin was a chef. She literally made sure for 2 weeks I had enough food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 weeks. There's some men who are married can't get that. And I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Right.
but that's the truth. No, you
Okay,
said
so my
it
question
has
to you: out of the 5 girlfriends, you don't have any like comfortable or friendly relationship or rapport with any of them when you was going to COVID? They would have brought you soup or anything like
I
that?
thought they
Who said
did.
Are
who
they
said
like
I
ex
don't
and
who
they're
said I
bad
don't still speak
exes?
with them?
I didn't hear you.
Who said I don't still speak to them?
So you
That's
have
what I
a
was asking.
roster. We're just thrown off by, I think it's the girlfriends term. So we were just trying to figure out, like, with girlfriends, does that mean they're not just lady friends? Does that mean you're actually in
We
relationships?
were in
Uh,
relationships. We
so,
were in
so
actual relationships.
so how long does these relationships last? Because you're only 40. How long?
I like Shaughnessy jelly.
Well,
I'm
Telling
not
me.
jelly at all.
as the
I'm
old
just
saying
trying
goes,
to.
I got so much love to give, right, sister?
Oh, okay. I just.
I mean, hey, guess what? I like to say I'm not only the CEO and commander of the Black Lion security firm, but for a minute I was the CEO and founder of the Rock and Soccer Hotel too. But anyway,
Oh, hell no.
Officer Trout dropping it on y'all tonight.
Officer Child ain't
it's
dropping
right around the
nothing.
corner from the Heartbreak Hotel.
What's the name of that clinic? What's the name of that clinic that was in Baltimore that they used to call a number 8?
1515.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's how
That's
you
what
know.
it,
Why do you know about that clinic?
because it's a thing in
Because
Baltimore. Oh no, I ain't never had them problems. I just
I
remember
never
it
had them
being a
problems
thing.
too.
I just
I
remember
said shit.
it being a
My
thing.
bill of health is as clean as a fucking $1,000 suit. Shit. Mm-mm.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
But that is true though. Back to
Guess
what the
what? I
topic of
wore
subject,
my
the topic
trust
of
me.
subject is
I had more shielding than Iron Man in a suit. Shit. We don't play them
we,
games.
it's not about the trophies. Um the one thing I would say that is true though, that it does depend on the chemistry with different people. Not everybody gives you that same energy, that same chemistry that makes you want to be more forthcoming or hold back. And that's true. Um,
Hmm.
and even that's why, like you said, even for like men do the same thing. A woman can like, okay, so I'm telling myself. So I was in Miami.
Oh,
Had a
wait a
good
minute. Wait
time.
a minute. Everybody quiet. Everybody mute up. I want to hear
Thank you,
this.
thank you. And the queen has the stage. So it was this guy. He was so
Tell
adorable,
on
and I was
yourself.
just like,
You better
"You
tell
are
all of it.
cute." What?
Tell on yourself, please. I gotta hear this.
Oh, shush. And so I said, "You are cute." I think it scared him away because I said how cute and attractive he was.
Do
Like,
men really
officer
want
of
to
the
be
law,
thought of as
is
cute?
that you, officer of the law? Okay, so
Smoking a
I
cigar, baby.
and I was like, I think I scared him away because I said he was so attractive. He was a really good looking guy, but I may not have been his choice type of
That's
chick,
me. That's
I'm,
me. Go ahead.
and that's fine. But I was being kind to say how kind, like, I'm not embarrassed by it because, okay, he didn't like me. I'm not hurt by it. I'm just not his choice. But I thought he was a cute guy. And I told him. That's all.
Difference between
Hey,
cute
I give you credit for
and
telling them. I'd have been like, "Hey, how you doing?"
I did. I was like, "You cute."
How you did?
I'd have been like, "Hey, hey."
You was okay. You cute, but he was like, he smiled. He was, but he went on.
How
I
old
guess
was
he
he?
was. We were the same age. He was 40. He was 40. I think he
He's
was
still cute.
43, 42, 43.
He's still cute.
He was very, very handsome. Actually, he was handsome. He was a very handsome man.
That might have been that might have been why he pushed on us because
Right,
he
because
called
he
said he
said
was
you was cute.
I should have said, "You handsome."
you might have got different results had you said he was
Because
handsome.
he did look kind of boyish, like youngish, kind of had that boyish, cute.
I don't think
cute
men like
boy look.
hearing that.
Maybe that could have been that.
Hmm.
So he wasn't attracted to me. I mean, if that's okay, that happens. I'm not expecting everyone to like you said, everyone is not for everybody, and everybody's not for everyone.
But just because
And
he didn't bite doesn't mean that he wasn't attracted.
or maybe he was in a relationship or something. Maybe he,
Right.
it could have been other things. But
Maybe he was trying to buy his time to see if you were really telling the truth.
well, I don't
True.
chase after nobody. I give a compliment. I keep it pushing. I ain't chasing nobody.
Maybe he wanted to, it looks like you crossed my mind,
Hmm.
Never know. Hey, sometimes
This
it's the car lounge.
But then
You
I
give
had
it,
somebody else at the beach trying to get with me at the beach, so it doesn't matter. It's either way. It
did
goes
you give
both.
it, did you give,
It
wait a
goes
minute, did you
either
give it
way.
the time of day though?
No, I didn't.
See, oh, wait a minute. But it works one way,
He
but not
was
the other.
younger. He was younger, actually. He was
So
younger. But I was like, no, I'm not.
the equipment works the same. So
Yeah, he was.
was he just as handsome as the other guy?
He was cute.
No. That's not the question I asked.
That's not all equipment don't work the same, so I disagree.
Was he just as handsome as the other guy?
It don't.
Yeah. That's true.
The devil is a
No,
lie. It
it's
don't.
cute, but it's just
I mean,
I'm not into
there
young
is a
guys. I'm
difference
not into
between
young.
there's the difference between a thumbtack and a jackhammer. I will say that, but anyway.
What?
Oh my lord.
Don't worry, Dave. We're gonna get you some ratings today. We're gonna get you some ratings today, bro.
Shit's so funny to her.
Oh, because y'all didn't catch the analogy, but that's
We
okay.
caught the analogy. We're just not feeding into it, sir.
Right.
We already
But
did.
that's the beautiful thing. You don't have to feed into it. That's the difference. See here's not what's being spoken.
When she looks for men, she treats them like Subway. Are you looking for a foot long or a 6 inch?
Just because you have a foot long don't mean you know how to use it.
Yeah, funny.
See. Now we're getting past the point of people sending their representatives out to meet people, and they're sending themselves out.
Right.
This is the difference between people being about bullshit and people being about their primary desire. And this is why I say I don't send my representatives out on dates. I send me out on dates. If you meet my representative, you're already pretty much on the way out the door.
Right. I agree.
So Herb, you say you put it all on the table. They take it
On the
All
wood.
people.
Yeah.
Exactly who I am, how I am.
That's it.
Herb the type to say, if
I don't care
I want to
anymore.
plow you, I want to plow you.
Oh Lord! Wow.
I am.
I'm just saying.
Why am I going to waste time?
Yikes.
Listen, that's how we should be anyway. Just be.
I don't want nobody like that.
Oh yeah.
But why do y'all
be that forward?
But why do y'all think it is that I consistently mention Alan Roger Curry's book, Mode 1? I don't mention it because I think it's coy or it's cute. I mention it because it cuts through the minutia. Let's face it, we all too old to be, no pun intended, beating around the bush. So if we just want to session, why not make it known?
But somebody has to give you that
I
vibe.
mean,
And they're
I
trying
guess
to go
that's
there.
good. So
You
I could,
yeah.
weed them out.
I guess both parties have to just be down for that, just that.
But you
But
gotta have that type of vibe, I think.
yeah, because it would be really weird. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird.
Trust me. If a guy
Are
don't
we
think,
going on a date?
No, the bedroom is the date.
Because that's where I'm confused. Because I thought you said you were
This
sending your or you were making sure not to send your representative. But in this case where you're saying you just want to plow, I don't think you would even be on a date, right?
Who? Alan Rogers Curry's book Mode One is not about a dating. It's about how to approach a woman and stipulate what it is that you want from her right then and there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hell, the date is destiny. I don't know what the hell destiny's gonna be tomorrow.
I gotcha.
you
You
can
just
still
trying
go
to
on the
fuck
date with
tonight.
that in thought.
say what you mean, say what you say. Whatever happens after that, it just happens. You gotta be if you tell a woman, damn girl, you look good enough to eat, she's either gonna say yes or no. At least you know where to start from there. If you're looking for a wife, you're looking for a wife. At least you say yay or nay. You can't blame her for telling you something else.
So, okay.
When did we miss it that the courting and the first introduction of
No,
respect
that's part of
and
it.
figure out who a person
Here's
is?
the problem. I'm gonna
And
give you that. Here's the problem about the courting.
you ain't let me finish. I don't like talking to you because you don't
Men
let
don't mind
nobody finish.
courting. Men don't mind courting if it leads to something. Now, studies have been shown where women will go out with a dude just to get a free meal. And if that's all you wanted, you should say that in the beginning instead of leading
So are
people
you
on.
seriously thinking in 2022 that women are going out with men for free meal?
You know that, Lynetta. You know they still do that.
Yes, they
Oh
still do.
yeah. People are going out for
I like to
free
eat.
meal.
Let me answer your question. Let me answer your question in the best way that I can.
I did turn down a
Let me
meal.
ask you this one. What's better than spending your money?
Spending his shit. You ain't
Thank
lying.
you.
Cause I just Linda,
I'm
I'm
not
not
here.
gonna
Grown
lie to
folks.
you, and I
Hey,
know
Willie.
I had
Willie.
no
I guess
Hey,
I'm
Willie.
intention.
a little different
Hey,
because I
Willie,
was
can you
raised
hear
by
me?
my
Tell
grandfather
him
and
to
my
be
dad,
grown for
and
a
I
minute.
was
Tell him to be
always
grown
told
and
to
real
spend
for
your
a
own
minute.
money.
No, but
What
it
happened?
just in all
I said,
honesty,
tell them, Willie, to be grown for a minute and be honest. Like,
in all
they already know
honesty,
what it is.
and on
Tell them to
all
be grown for a
honesty,
minute and be honest.
I
No,
literally
Are you talking to me?
No, he was telling Willie to tell y'all ladies to be grown for a minute.
I
no,
wanted to
he's
hear
trying
what
to say that
fantasy
we're
was
gonna
Who
coming
who are you
from.
saying that we're not
yeah,
grown?
fantasy's trying to yeah.
I'm
I
messing
was
with
just
you
I don't
because
think
getting
he
to I
literally
was
meant
when
it.
you
out.
said that when I asked you the question, what's better than spending your money is what?
His money. Exactly.
Exactly.
Just what
So
you said.
is it above that there's some women out there who just want a free meal? No, it's not.
But I don't know. I
Well,
think that's a perception. I think it
I
is.
was
It's
just
not
saying,
our fault
No,
that
not
men
it
say,
just
"Well, let's go
where
I
y'all
out to
think
came
have,
from.
let's go have something to eat," and then we say yes.
I
It's
just
not our
gotta
fault.
ask this
people
question.
get stuck
How many
on the
ladies date
free
women?
meal part and people get offended and stuff. But what I was just saying is I was out with my friends. We were bar hopping during on a Saturday, I think what it was. And this guy I knew daggone well I wasn't gonna talk to him past this weekend. And he was like, well, he was like, let's go to dinner. And I was like, sure. We went to Maestro's, probably spent about $500 of that man money. I know I wasn't gonna talk to him. It was fun though. He was nice. He was
Shaughnessy,
cool.
Shaughnessy, you
But I
so
mean,
wrong.
whatever.
But no, that's true.
What
Like I had somebody do the
whatever.
same thing. Somebody wanted to take me out to dinner. They said they'd take me to a really nice restaurant. Price really nice restaurant. And I decided no, because I'm not wasting. I mean, I don't want to say it's wasting my time, but it is wasting my time. I'm a busy person. If this ain't someone I see that I'm trying to go forward with, I don't care how much the meal is. It's not. That's not important.
Girl, we met my friends
yourself.
back in MGM and tore that table up with that man money.
Yeah, I didn't do
And
it.
so what? And I ain't seen them since.
And Shaughnessy said, and I'll do it again.
And
Love you,
again.
girl.
But the thing about it is, he has my number, and he hasn't even called me. I haven't called him either. I don't think he expected anything but like really having fun. We hung with my homegirls, like everything was cool. Like I don't think everybody doesn't really expect.
How old was this dude, Shaughnessy?
He was salt and pepper. That's the only kind that I talked to.
And I said, how old was he?
Salt and pepper.
Well, guess what? Guess what? Would you go out with that guy if he never offered food?
What do you mean? We also went out after food too. We went to the
In
casino.
other words, did you find him attractive?
No, he was very attractive. He was very attractive.
I love it.
He was very attractive.
Christine, crack it up, boy.
She
He
said
was
we went
definitely
to the
attractive.
casino
That's the
after
only reason
dinner.
I actually talked to him. But
Sugar Daddy was all this settled up. Sugar Daddy, right?
was he giving sugar daddy vibes? Yeah. But was I really going? Was I going to
And
give
you let me
him
know when
any
your
sugar?
pockets are empty
No.
so I could go
Yeah,
home.
girl, he didn't
Let me
get
ask you
no
this question:
Sugar
how much older
Daddy
was he than
black.
you?
Hold on, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
How much older was he than you?
12.
Oh, you crazy.
I think Shaughnessy holding back.
He
And
was 12 years
see,
older than me. He was 42. He was
Okay.
42.
guess what? All you gotta do is let the ladies talk, and you'll get the truth.
No, I'm telling you, I ain't gotta lie. I told you.
That man
I
did what he
volunteered the
wanted to
story.
do. He wanted to be in the presence of young women and be seen. He
And
did what
So
he
he
wanted to
42
do.
and Shaughnessy, you
What he
30.
was
Like,
doing,
that's
what he
not
was
that
doing,
bad.
he was
I'm with
putting
you.
in deposits.
And he paid for that moment.
Huh?
He was putting
No,
in
he was
deposits,
paying
and
for
he
the
was trying to get
experience
some
of being
interest.
seen with younger
Yeah,
women.
he paid for the moment. I get it.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
I do
That's what
too.
I'm saying.
Went
Everybody
home,
had
popped his
fun.
blue pill, and sat there and took care of himself.
You said he
And
popped his blue pill.
You know,
Man.
girl,
The man 42.
popped that.
He ain't even
popped
that
that.
old like that, whatever. He's
Right.
42, 30.
men out there that
Right?
just want to look like they screwing a beautiful woman can't do nothing.
So guess
Right.
what?
At 42.
Was it just going out and nothing else?
No, yeah, it was just going out and nothing else. I knew I wasn't going to deal with him like that or anything further than
You,
that.
you,
I knew
you,
that.
you know you gave credence to what I said.
What?
It's like, look, if you know that all you're gonna do is just you like have him just for fun. Now
Mhm.
let it be somebody you said he's handsome, but did you find him attractive?
No, he
Meaning
was very attractive, but
for you.
he was very attractive, but
So why didn't it go further?
no.
I just don't think that 42 or 30 ain't that bad. Like,
So what, Shaughnessy?
Yes.
Shaughnessy. So what about him made you know right off the bat that it wasn't going to go anywhere?
The way that I was meeting somebody else at National Harbor, that wasn't my reason. So I went this is all the
Wait a
weekend that
minute,
I
you
went.
in DC?
Yes, this is all the weekend that I came.
Now I get it.
Exactly. We were just having fun. I came up for my friend's white coat ceremony from Howard. And that night I was meeting my actual friend at MGM. We just happened to run into somebody else, and he was salt and pepper, and he was cute.
You look like you crossed my mind.
So he was like, "Yeah, let's stop here," and I was like, "Sure, let's go to dinner."
You know, one thing I learned about women, there's a difference between just being handsome, but then there's a difference of being attracted to that guy.
No, he
So do
was
you think?
attractive. I'll tell you this. I'll be completely honest. If I wasn't as scary as I was, I really like he was attractive. He had muscles. He
Sound
worked
like
out
you
and
liked him.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm scary as hell though.
So Shaughnessy,
Yeah.
do you think if he was in the town, the city where you live, do you think it would have been different?
Yes.
Jimmy crack
Possibly,
corn.
yeah. Yeah. Would I have seen him again? Yes.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
it was just based on the fact that you were away from home and you knew it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, and I'm scary. I'm so scary.
To meet somebody out, yeah, because people do crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm scary as hell.
I don't blame you.
Like if I know my friends was right up the street and you get what I'm saying, like yeah, I wouldn't have even went out with him.
Right.
It's always some good stuff. Some good stuff.
That question actually made me think about. I don't know if I brought up last week on the show about I had met someone and just starting to get to know the person, and then later they came to me and said that a girlfriend of hers told her that she and I had dated.
Yeah, that one last week. It was, I think, the week
A
before.
couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of question that you asked, that question kind of reminded me of that because the person.
Like would I said would I say I dated him? Like if one of my friends would have ran across him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I would have been like, girl, I went out with him that night. I went to Rakira such and such, girl. Like I wouldn't have, but nah, shit, he fair
You wouldn't
game.
try to block it?
Hell no, he fair game, girl. Shit, he spent hella money on that roulette table.
Well, this person tried to block my situation. The person that I was just talking about, this person actually tried to block me talking to her girlfriend.
But I
telling her
also
that she
have my
telling
own
her
other
that she and I
business going
dated,
on too.
telling her that she and I dated and that I did some stuff, brought somebody to her house for a party or some craziness. But anyways, when she brought up the person, she was telling this person we dated and everything, and then I said, yeah, I dated the person, but it was like over 10 years ago. And it was crazy because how do you try to, you might have been a different person back then. You might have been doing different things back then when you were dating somebody. And now 10 years later, you're dating somebody that your ex knows, or this person wasn't even the ex, but the person knows. And then they're talking like y'all just broke up or something. And then you find out.
Yeah. Well, lucky for me, my friends don't like older men, so we ain't going to even.
But y'all all 30s in y'all 30s, right?
Yeah, we all are 30, literally.
Yeah, all y'all in the 30s. So
but just because they don't like him, that don't mean you don't like him, Shaughnessy.
No, but what I was saying is I wouldn't run into that. I 9 times out of 10 I wouldn't run into that issue of, oh, I dated him or I went out with him, et cetera, before, because my friends are not really gonna date somebody that's much older than them.
So what's considered older for y'all? Like for you and your group of friends? What?
Me personally,
yeah, I was 12 years older, but what's older? What?
Me personally, I'm not dating any at third. Oh wait, y'all, I'm 31 now. I forgot. I just had a birthday.
You can know.
That's old as hell.
I'm not dating anybody under 36. I can't. The mature.
You're not dating under 36. You said
under 36. No, sorry.
So what's the range? Like 36
what's the
to 40?
Oldest? What, like seriously? Like taken seriously?
Yeah.
It depends.
It depends on how the person is. I think
it depends on how the person is, and it depends on how close they're. Because I'm not trying to get beat up by my father either.
Damn.
So,
wow.
he's not gonna beat me up, but at the same time, I'm 30.
Him being displeased.
My father is 51. My father's 52.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to you know, if he went to high school with him, he might he might he might give me the
So
look
you
and
said
be
if you
like,
were back
yeah, I know
home
you
in July,
go
the 42-year-old
go ahead. Go ahead if I smack you and
I
your little
think the
friend.
42 is a definite for Shaughnessy, but I think
So
I think I
42
might
probably
even
the
push.
max.
yeah,
I don't
45 might
know.
be the max.
45
Yeah.
definitely the max. Yeah,
Yeah.
45 would be the
In the
max. Yeah.
40s, trying to see that. Don't go past that, especially for those that's
45.
listening.
I don't
Kid,
know if
don't
I want to go past
tell her
45
what to
because
do.
Because I already, it sound like some folks trying to listen in and trying to see if they can see the shot.
no,
Girl,
no,
you don't
no,
want
no.
nobody nowhere.
Y'all I done circled the block. Look, bad news. I done circled the block again. So
Hot girl summer.
no, my hot girl summer is over.
Already?
I know.
Dang.
It's only
I
spring.
know.
You know what though? I knew that wasn't gonna last.
How did you know? Because I didn't.
I knew it wasn't gonna last.
I didn't.
You were gonna get over that like real quick.
I had a fun little 2 months though.
Mhm.
That shit was in the winter
Oh,
time
you
though.
back.
Ish. Not officially.
You play too many
Unofficially.
games.
What you said that she played too many games.
Play too many games. I got you.
Unofficially.
I love you, Tiny. You play too many games.
It's unofficially. I don't think I'm gonna have a hot girl summer. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think I'm gonna have a hot girl summer.
He try to get he do that get right.
Just
He
gonna
try
have
to get right.
I'm gonna be booed up.
You gonna be booed. You gonna be booed up. Listen, I'm gonna be nothing. Guys in Texas, I can't get past this white tooth and them scarves around their necks and them cowboy hats is wiping me clearly out.
Girl, Southern men have charm.
I was
They
looking at
have
Texas as a
charm, girl.
prospective place
They
to go.
are very charming. The one guy was like, "Come here, beautiful. We use a beautiful chocolate." I was like, "Okay, I feel like you just."
Oh no!
Gotta get comfortable.
Now they little and they
You
grab your hand. They always grabbing your hand.
You're about to get lassoed down there.
Especially when they find out when you, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you a Yankee?" They gonna say, "You a Yankee?"
Nah, that goes people like me. Yeah, I smell your breath.
They gonna love you, sassy New York. Oh my God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They gonna hit you with that Southern charm, girl.
They gonna
Go
offer
right
you
into
some
town with,
like,
go right into town with New York plates.
And you in Texas, they love to do everything big.
Why
not? Y'all wilding tonight.
Oh my goodness!
But hey, we might as well knock out this last talking point because we talked about dating and
David said, "Moving on."
No, I'm okay with the thing, but it's all gonna tie in when you're 40 and over and you inexperienced in dating. It's been a while. What do? Like shit, you've been with somebody for so long. Now you want to step back out there, and you're like, I don't even know what the hell to do or what to look for.
This is not a fair question. So I'm just done.
It's a very fair question.
So wait a minute. I'm trying to understand the question. Is it asking what our experiences are dating 40 and over, or
you 40 and over? You date you were with somebody for a long time when you were younger.
It sounds like a previous question.
Almost.
I do.
Might have came up. All this stuff is connected. But now you back out there. You're like, damn, I want to step back out there in the dating game. But you really,
I just think people just need to be themselves. I don't really think, we put the pressure on and saying, "Oh, are you marketable? Or you're not marketable?" Different things like that. It's somebody for everyone.
Okay.
Exactly.
Mhm.
40
Just like
and
you
over, I
just
think
got
he has
out of a
become
relationship, someone else has to.
right. And I think
That's
40 and
right,
over, I think
Shaughnessy.
the dating pool kind of is very condensed right now.
Especially
And
over
I think
40.
it's so many recyclable relationships. And then I think so many people is in a situation where they really don't want to commit because they wait for the next good
Did you say
thing.
recycle teenagers?
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
So yes.
Sounds like
So
a
what
hokey pokey to
happens
me.
is, what happens is it just feels like people are not as genuine as they say they are. So my thing, what Officer Child said, is just being honest about where you at. You got to say where you at. I'm not ready to get married. Do I want to get married again in the near future? Yeah, but not right now. So most of the guys that I end up talking to, they want that, like, that next level commitment. Like, oh, I'm gonna marry you. Whoa,
Let me
whoa,
ask you a
okay,
question. How old are you
really?
currently?
Okay. I'm not just in that place because I did 30 years. So I'm
Like,
kind of like finally
how
getting
old
to
are
a
you
place.
currently?
How old is what?
How old are
How
you?
old are
How
you?
old are you currently?
Me? Yeah, as opposed to 5
That's
minutes
your
ago.
netta.
I'm asking you
You
her
don't like
age.
telling your damn age.
Don't
No,
ask me her age. Don't worry
no,
about it.
you
I'm
said it
Don't
49.
again.
worry about it, sweetheart. Don't
You,
worry
you
about
said
it.
you're 40 what?
I'm 49.
49. Oh, you trying to get your rock'em and sock'em back on. That's all. Little
What?
fun.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No, 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 no. I don't want you to put that out there in the atmosphere. I'm not that girl. Okay,
Hold on.
I'm
Let
not
me
that.
wink for you.
I'm
Let
not
me
that. I'm
wink
not that
for you.
girl. I'm not easily persuaded, and I'm not bed friendly. My OBGYN loves me because I took very good care of the state
She
of the
said,
place. So I'm not
no,
that.
I still got the new car smell. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm not that girl. I believe that I do have a right to be selective about who I allow to touch me and who I allow to engage with and be in my world. I have
Absolutely.
that right. And I totally believe I have that right. I stand on that. And if that right takes me to the grave of me being by myself, then I will accept that. Because one thing I'm not going to do at 49 is compromise my peace just to say I got a piece.
Mm.
Okay. Why y'all so damn
Yes.
quiet?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think it need to be rebutted.
Right.
Right. That's it. It's a period. Point blank. That's it. Period.
Anybody
Kid,
else got anything to
that's a
add to
period.
it?
The way some men make it sound, if it's a woman over 40 dating, you should be desperate. You should be jumping on the first thing that comes your way. But I personally think, even at my age, I've got time. I'm not trying to rush into anything, and I'm definitely not trying to rush into the bed with anyone.
That's so true.
I need more than uh an expensive meal. I need more than knowing your first name and saying hello. I have to get to know somebody. I have to feel comfortable with you. I have to feel um like I have to ship. I don't do casual sex. So but the way, again, some people make it sound, as a woman, you're washed up, and but I've had great experiences in my 30s, 40s, and 50s, and I'm knocking on 60's door, and I don't expect it to be any different.
Yeah, I know they were saying that in the counsel's corner. Some of the when I had made the post regarding to this conversation, a lot of the guys were like, oh, uh, if you 40 something, whatever, pretty much your options are limited. Or why the hell are you dating at 40? You should have been
Why?
took care of that. Been locked
I,
in.
Not necessary. They shouldn't
I
be.
was just
I will say this. I will say
straight
this
up.
because it depends on her mentality, her physicality, I keep telling you, one thing about black women, when black women work out, they undefeated. If
They
you take
what?
care of your body, they're undefeated.
Oh,
If women take care of their bodies, you know, and they have a good personality, good, mindset, your options are a lot better. And if you're actually
No,
interested,
I must agree with you and Willie on that.
I was just
When
about
I was like
to say,
358 pounds and I wasn't even thinking about that wasn't a factor of taking care of my body.
and
But
I
when I
do
start
find, I
losing
don't know
the
if
weight
this,
and working out and stuff like that, I noticed the attention
you feel,
change with
yeah,
men.
I keep
and you feel
telling
Now
much
women,
better about yourself.
that
I've said,
I do
I've said this so
I
many
do
times on my show.
3.5 to 4 miles a day walking, and I'm noticing that
Wow.
men are noticing me walking, and they like, "Well, you
Like
getting it
I said,
in? I can see
I know
your
Willie.
tongue. I can see the."
I'll tell you this one. I've been following Willie for years. Believe it or not, me and Willie agree on shit when it comes to fitness. The same way I'm hard on men being fit, being the fittest creature you can be, is the same because I've trained men and women, both physical fitness, wrestling, boxing, and MMA. Look, what you put in is what you get out of it.
Mhm.
You want your dating options. Let's say you had a good marriage for 10, 15, 20 years, things didn't work out, you grew apart. The first thing I would tell men and women, hit that fucking gym. Be able, because guess what? You're a bit more worldly. You know how to talk to people, but guess what? In order to get what you want, you have the presentation out there the way you want it to be. And notice your options increase. I had a female friend who's 35. She was overweight. When she started working out, she changed her diet. Oh, the options came like she had more options than leaves on the ground.
But you know what? I've also walked in some places and saw a lot of thickums with some men just drooling over them.
Yeah,
So
you
it
got to
goes
look
I
at
was just
both ways.
about
glance
to
It
at
say,
goes
that.
I
both
wonder if
ways.
that's
Glance
a
at that also. Were
Some
those
men
the
like
type
them
of
thick, 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 thick. Thick, thick,
were
thick, thick,
those
thick.
the type of men
So
that she really wanted?
so you know it does go both ways. There's some men that like them thick.
Uh,
no,
Yeah,
yo. So it's
yeah.
there's
I
a
think it is true. I think it is true.
I
you
think
got
it
a certain
goes
you got a certain percentage, a little percentage. But guess what? A lot of big girls don't like the guys that like big girls. Heck,
mm.
you got to remember if she could pick who she wanted to pick, a lot of times it wouldn't be those men.
So what would you say about the
Yeah, but
men
I
that
agree with
in the
the
gym
court. It
that are
is some
very
men
fit?
like big girls because I've had some of my male friends that was like, "I liked you better when you was thick."
I was
I
just
had
about
to
to say
trust
because
me. All my
I've
friends like
seen
big
a
girls.
lot of the guys
You
that
said
are
they
in
like
the
you
gym.
better, Sean, Anetta?
Oh yeah, I had a couple of my male guy friends that was like, "You losing too much weight. You too thin now. I liked you better when you was
Really?
bigger."
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell
and
you. I'm
there's
gonna tell you.
also guys that are in the gym that are like literally gym rats, gym heads, and they wouldn't dare look at a woman or deal with a woman that's actually in the gym either. And I wonder what's that's about.
It's
You
few
know,
and far between.
but you know
Because
what
I'm
the
gonna
thing.
tell you, I had to ask my boy, and he exclusively date big girls, and I just had to ask him, if you had $5 million in the bank, would you still date big girls? He said, hell no. I said, okay, I'll take that. And
If he
it's
had
like,
what? I didn't hear. If he had what,
if he had $5 million in the
Charles?
bank, would he still date just big girls predominantly?
Oh,
He said, hell no. I said, okay, I see what it
But I
is.
don't even think it might be a money thing. I think it might be an attraction thing.
So
yeah,
you
because
gotta
you do have
understand.
some people that are attracted to larger women,
Women
and then
girls
you
because
have
I
it's
never
some
said
people that are
better.
that.
attracted
Notice I
to
never
shorter
said
women,
that.
some women, thinner
Notice I
women.
never said there are no men who not attracted to it. I just said
Right.
it's a lot smaller than what people think it is.
Mm.
No,
Well,
I
and
think
also it's also a cultural thing too. It depends on
no.
Yep.
where the person is from. Because if you go to certain countries, they date they marry and they date larger women because that's considered part of the prestige of their wealth.
Mm.
But the thing is this too. Just as much as men try to act like they don't like a chick, they're just the same down low that might like a man opposed to a man.
Wait, what?
Even with
Yes,
the down low,
Whoa.
even with the down low,
because
that's a
you
very small
don't
percentage.
know what a man was. You don't know
That's a
who a
very.
man took home at night.
Whoa.
I mean, there's a lot of women who've been with me than me, and I've been through plenty. So,
Wait, hold on. Time out.
One at a time.
Hello. I was just like, as I was saying, you don't know who somebody is in DMing at late at night. You don't know who they watching on a porno late at night. You don't know who somebody's taking to their house
Girl, you got
late at night. So everybody want to say what somebody don't like. You don't know. The truth is, you really
there's
don't.
a difference between Mrs. Right now and Mrs. Right.
It doesn't matter. The fact
It
is that
doesn't matter because guess
no,
what?
don't try to put the twist to it. The
There's
fact
the
is,
options change the closer it gets to midnight.
they like them thick, sweetie. I
Even
promise.
Cinderella had to rush home at midnight.
It's just like what we said earlier. It's because of it's a pride thing, or it's a prestige thing, or it's a class thing. Why they don't let you know? They don't want you in there trying to make them belittle them to make them feel like, oh, you
In other words,
like them big.
in
No,
other words,
that all falls into that place too.
in other words, there are men who can get what they can, and there's others who get what they want. Just like women.
Doesn't matter. That's all I'm saying, like I just said.
I'm confusion.
I threw a twist in it. That's all,
Mm.
because you never know who somebody taking home at night and watching at night, or phone sexing at night, or you do not know.
Yeah, I think everybody's attraction is different and what works for them works for them. Some guys may be in the gym all day, every day, and they like their women thick, and it may be the very opposite. They in the gym and they want their woman right beside them in the gym as well.
Sometimes it might be availability. Like, what can you get for that particular time with some guys? And you see a lot. And I don't try to let social media dictate my thought process, but I see it, Instagram and all this stuff. You see heavy set women that may be like 300 pounds and they throw on freaking bra thongs and stuff like that. And the guys be in that comment is like crazy, like and I'll be like, these dudes for real, whatever. Like,
They for real.
and I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to come up or whatever the case is. But some of them really like shit.
Sorry.
They're not even being transparent.
So on that note, guys, I've had some crazy busy days, weekends. I had a day of fabulous. So on that note, I'm gonna say be true to yourself. I actually want to take a little note from Will. Hedgecock can be receiving because that foot fungus that you had on that picture on your Facebook, that needs to be worked on, bro. That was a little scary. Just to throw that out there.
Wait,
Scary.
what is happening right now? What is
What
happening?
happened now?
That's my closing remarks.
My closing remark is say no to big chick. Whoa, I'm out.
Watch out for the big girls.
No, you're supposed to play go-go. We do watch out for the big girl. Whoa, there's a reason.
happened just now. What just
Yeah, just tell what just happened.
I don't know.
I mean, headshots can be deceiving, but body parts can be too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Wait, what is going on with
Y'all,
the foot
y'all
fungus?
stop talking and let her do her closing comment.
What happened with the foot fungus?
You missed it. You had to go back and you had to go look for it before he deleted. That was crazy.
No, it's not going to be deleted. Not at all.
But
I appreciate your remarks, your comments. No problem. It is what it is. It's being taken care of.
so lost right now. I don't know what to say.
Crazy as hell.
So are we on closing comments?
I'm
Might as
so
well close it out.
confused right now.
Everybody's so confused. Like, do y'all need a recap? Damn.
I'm totally confused. Why did the officer
No,
run?
Because he
What
don't
are
like
we
big girls.
recapping? Did we get
His
through
words
all of? Did we
say
get through
no
all
to
of the
big girls.
topics? Did we get through all of the topics?
Yeah,
We
actually,
did.
Yes.
we
I
did
think
get on the
we did.
phone. Yeah.
Oh, look at us, you
We did
guys.
good.
Guys.
We finally made it through all the
So
topics for once. And it's
we
early.
made it
Twice.
through last week too.
Yeah,
Did
twice.
we? Okay.
Yeah,
Consecutive weeks.
we on the roll.
I like how y'all all being so dismissive and nobody gonna bring me up to date what's going on.
Girl, I'm about to say,
We made it. That's
we
one of the
about
people
to-
made the comment.
Like she ain't do absolutely nothing. I'm just trying to understand what's
I'm
going
confused
on.
too. I'm confused too.
He said he ain't gonna delete it. Go to his page. It's just a scary.
Paige, who's we talking
thing.
about?
Hold on. I don't know.
About?
Will's page.
I
Listen,
posted a
he
picture
put it out
of my
there. He put it
swollen
out
foot. Yep, I sure did.
there. And I'm just saying,
You don't like it, you can always stay off of it. It don't matter.
scary
Like
stuff.
I said, it's
Oh,
being
so
dealt with.
Lakia and Willie beefing. Is that what this is?
So my closing comments
What is
is
y'all
that
doing over there?
we're all created by the same hand.
So are we beefing?
So we
or-
should be patient and kind with one another.
I think she said she was piggybacking on Willie's closing comment. And she used that as an analogy as foot.
15
I gotta say,
hours.
you are so petty for that.
I'm still looking. I'm still
You gotta be
scrolling. Willie, you post a lot.
I do post
Willie,
a lot.
screenshot of your foot. Send it to her.
Nah, she can go look for it. She can go
I'm
look for it
looking.
like
Y'all crazy.
What in the world?
Y'all call me petty. I'm just laughing. Man.
I think, and the petty award goes to
Lakia?
Lakia.
Oh, man.
For the night, somebody getting a petty award every Monday. I'm officially gonna do that.
Oh, wow.
Somebody's getting a petty award every Monday.
I think that's a good idea.
Lakia,
That's
you
a good
are
idea.
awarded
Just
a petty
when I
award.
thought David had it cinched,
Wow. Wow. All right. Anybody else
Lakia
got a
pulled
closing
it out the
comment?
hat.
Lakia came
Wait
by
for it.
and took over.
Oh,
I had it on
man.
lockdown.
This is, you know what? I
You found
okay.
it?
That's how you know I just spoke what everybody was thinking.
No, I just
Yo,
for why we here? Why
Love
we here?
y'all. I will see y'all next Monday.
she
Yeah.
figured she had something to put
All
out
right,
on the
y'all
show.
have
She
a
ain't
good
had nothing
night.
else to talk
We'll
about,
have
so
to
she had to
better.
figure she had to put that out
Good
on the
night.
show.
we got to do better. That's
That's a good closing comment, but that shows the mentality.
it shows
no big
that you got to
deal.
stop putting fungus feet out there. Get your feet
Shows-
done, bro. Get
Don't
them
worry
feet
about
done.
my feet.
Headshots can be deceiving, but
Don't
your
worry about
headshot's
my
the
feet.
truth. Your headshot's
Yeah.
the truth. But the foot thing is
Have a
just
good night.
deceiving. That's just going to a
Well,
whole
you
new
know, we can't
That's all.
always control certain things.
In
Dude,
closing, headshots can be deceiving, and nothing worse than a woman scorned. Have a great night, everybody.
Oh my God! Is this a setup for next week?
Ain't nobody scoring for Bill.
Whoa.
Is this the setup?
Ain't nobody scoring for Bill.
So
Will just
so
can't
why-
take
so
when
why
he
y'all
just need to
beefing
work on
again?
his feet.
so why y'all beefing again? Can I know?
We're not beefing. He just be all mad when somebody come for him because he think he can always come for other people, but nobody can come for him. That's all.
Oh my God!
Deuces.
I want to know more. There's just a lot of tension here.
He's because he can't take it. She can't take it. That's all. He can dish it, but he can't take it.
I
That's
think
all.
we need to set up a date. All expense paid.
Not with no Will. Not me and not me and
That's what
Will.
it sound like. I'm just saying that's what it
No, ain't
sound
no
like to
woman
me.
score. Don't fall for that, sweetheart. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that one. I shared about his foot.
It seemed
Focus.
like some
That's the
talking
focus.
points probably gonna come out of this.
That's the focus.
So yeah, because I have a question. Did your man feet have to be pretty? That's
No,
too ugly.
the thing is that that's his saying. Headshots can be deceiving.
Right.
But you're right. Headshots are deceiving. But no, his is what it is. But the body, his foot, like that needs some attention. That foot needs some
Well, at
attention.
least he ain't put a filter on it and try to be deceiving.
Nah, you shouldn't put that on the book at all. That was one that should have stayed behind the scenes. That's all we're saying.
Oh man.
That should have stayed behind the scenes. No one want to see that. That look like a I don't
Just the FYI, I seen worse.
Yeah, I think it was more so letting everybody know he was preparing for the Junior Olympics and was talking about his swollen ankle.
And clearly he's had a surgery on that ankle as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the ankle, dear. It's about those toes.
Well, you like sucking on toes or something?
Clearly,
I like my toes.
That's what I hear.
That's what I hear. They are not
don't nobody
done well
want to see
enough.
those toes. And you didn't want to see those toes either. Keep it 100. Keep it 100.
But see,
I've seen worse.
I understand what a bad foot look like because I have two of them, and they're bad.
Oh.
But I ain't never focused on a woman's toe, so I don't care if she has bunions. Them things ain't going near me. So the question becomes:
you make her wear tube socks?
So wait,
You know
you make your woman wear socks?
I'm out. Good night.
I never get below a woman's knees. So what the hell do I care what her feet look like?
You don't get below a woman's knees. Okay. Okay.
I don't
Yikes.
understand that one.
Right.
Let us sink in.
Yeah, that's for further discussion, I guess.
No,
at another time.
I think
what's below her knees, I don't give a damn about.
Head to toe attention is necessary.
For whom?
Everybody.
I just told you. I do not concern myself with what is below a woman's knees. So that everybody's statement doesn't have traction with me.
Yeah, I guess.
And for me, I'm not a feet person myself, so I don't. I'm not. I don't. I'm not gonna wear sandals. I'm not gonna do any of that stuff. Whatever. That's just not. And my feet isn't the worst looking, but that's just how I grew up. I just don't get down like that. And actually, because everybody thinks that they can show their feet during the summertime, I tend to like when they get a little cold. I tend to like fall season better, whatever.
Put their socks back on.
Yeah, because all that shit I be seeing, like I be like, are you kidding me with this? So I prefer fall dressing on me.
I've literally seen worse. Y'all see out of all the things I picked out the daggone surgery scar.
Yeah.
No, I saw it too. That's why I figured he probably had the ankle issues that he did. But other than that, I was like, okay.
Yikes! Well,
another comical show.
I guess for the next week is does the appearance of your mate's feet is the appearance of your mate's feet a deal breaker?
That's
Can she walk? Can she stand up?
I mean, some people really do value that.
I was just about to say some people pay attention to feet a lot. Yeah. Like I'm not necessarily a foot person, foot person, but some people are in the feet.
And I think I think we had
made that plainly clear. No, she got hammer time, man. I can't do it.
Yeah, we had we had shows we talked about this stuff, like people hands and all that stuff. Like you don't want, as a woman, if a guy's nails is all bit up or discolored, you ain't trying to hold hands with him, and vice versa. So some things you can't control, but something like yo, that just it don't sit in well with you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, your feet and your hands are two different things, though. I don't know.
Well, I
I
guess
was
you
gonna
could
say, it's
cover
like
up your
sucking
feet.
fingers.
I'm not sucking
I'm
toes.
back. I'm back.
Just gonna
We
let
got
it
the
go.
I'm back.
hammer.
Because y'all missed the part. This is where y'all missed. Y'all missed when he threw shade at Anetta. Y'all missed that. He threw shade at Anetta saying, "Oh, like when she said, well, there were some guys that said she, they liked her bigger. Oh, some people said that. Like he was like, that was a question. Like, oh, people really said that to you. Oh, okay, that was shade.
Oh, that's
That was
like
shade. Y'all
okay.
missed that though. Yeah, I
I
mentioned that. But
why
so
you
he likes to
but
dish
that's why
shade, but he
intent
don't like to get it. So he
got
just he just got it.
I
Okay, that's all.
I okay because
Okay,
I was confused. I
yeah,
get it. I'm up to
yeah,
speed now.
I caught that. But
Yeah,
I ain't saying nothing at the time. But that was shade, dude. How you
it
gonna say, oh, that? Yeah, somebody said that. What was the question about that?
that's hilarious. I just
He's,
told I
He
literally
throws shade all the time, sweetie.
I
People
literally
don't.
just told my son today that he ain't getting braces till high school. We do have an appointment on July 1st, but I told him he wasn't going to get braces to high school because he gonna say to some little girl like, "Oh no, do you see her teeth, bro?" And I'm like, "Yo, do you see your teeth?" Like
Okay,
what?
that's right. People always
Like,
gonna throw
man.
shade, but don't want to look at their own self
I,
limping around like somebody don't see no limp. Somebody limping with the big booty limping around. Stop.
oh no.
That's all I'm
I,
saying.
I should go on a nice date. The
Don't go there. Don't go there with a Shaughnessy. Just
take
accept it for what it is.
the
But
counselor gonna take care of it.
I
Somewhere.
think I think Shaughnessy, when you're saying something that's important too. And a lot of times we don't pay attention, like your grill, your teeth, and all that stuff is important. And sometimes it's based on insurance or whatever the case is. And sometimes we just kind of dismiss it, don't pay that attention. But yeah, that's valuable too, especially when you get older. When your grill ain't right,
Yeah, absolutely. I
yeah,
do. That is. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's a deal breaker for me. Like I can. I have. Yeah. No. Your teeth. No. You don't. You do not have to be a 10. But when you crack that smile, if it's messed up, it's a wrap. We're done. Sorry.
They say
No.
you. Hey, they say you'd be amazed at what a man with no teeth can do.
I'm good. I give me all the teeth. Give me all
uh,
the teeth.
so we always had these
Like
interesting. Go ahead, Herb.
they said, you don't have to worry about him being concerned about biting the delicates.
But nope. Hell no. Nope, nope. We need teeth.
Well, so when I ask y'all for talking points, somebody should already have something
I already have
stirring in the pot about this whole thing, whatever.
feet, teeth, cockeyed. That's another one I
How
cannot
Cockeyed.
somebody
do.
how somebody right? How
I
can somebody
cannot
have
do.
anything to say about anybody when they have some body ailments themselves?
I mean, we all have
Yeah, yeah,
flaws.
no, yeah, nobody's perfect, whatever. Like,
We
Nobody's
all have
perfect.
flaws.
So nobody could be really saying anything about anybody. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
I
Oh
guess.
shoot!
I think the key thing is when you talk about like sometimes you just go to certain events and you just people watch and you talk crap about others, but that's somebody that you kind of trust and it's stand between y'all, and y'all got
Right.
to understand. And but sometimes people put stuff out there to other, and then it just get it circulated, then it turned into madness. So I'm one. I just kind of sit back and observe a lot of stuff, and I'm not gonna put stuff out there unless it's somebody that I know, like, okay, this is sacred between us, that I could crack this joke or say this about that. Because again, we all, like Shauna said, we all have our flaws.
Right.
Right, because listen, it's all good and well until I fall asleep. Because I snores, okay?
A lot of us snore. Well, I snore like a damn bear.
I know I do.
I just got told, you and the fucking dog was in here battling last night. And I was like, oh, well. That's why you have your own house.
I think people at cemetery, so I already know.
All right. So we gonna get out of here on another interesting note. This remind me of boxing matches when you ready to promote shit, whatever. Like, man, like the build up.
Yes, because I
Build up
can't
to-
wait till next Monday already.
He ain't gonna do nothing but try to come back with some foolishness. But
Mm.
as
Well,
always ready.
I'm going to be in your inbox as of right now with some talking points.
All right, I'll take them. All right.
All right,
So
you guys have
we're gonna get ready to get out of here.
Bye.
Everybody be safe, stay strong, and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
All right, Herb.
All right, man.
All right, what you out there checking on that pizza?
No pizza tonight, man.
All right.
I had my wraps,
All
my
right.
donuts. I'm out.
I get with you.
Next time.
Peace.
I'm tired too.
All right, we out.